Um,
Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the evil that men do. Father God, I pray and ask that you help me to have mercy on others the same way I would want you to have mercy on me. Father God, I also ask that you help me to be quick to forgive and slow to get angry. Amen, amen, amen. These young dudes out here don't respect shit until you put the barrel in their ear and let the text spit. I just might catch a case on my next hit, remove their whole face on some special effect shit. So show respect, Drake, or I'ma have a flashback. Digging through the dresser like fuck it, where my mask at? The mash back with the banger and damage shit and say fuck everything I learned in anger management. Hop back on some east side managed shit and push a nigga's top back when I let the cannon spit. Start planning shit, premeditation. I'm in love with the streets again, rededication. Casket or cremation when I shoot you down. I was built full of smoke like a hookah lounge. I keep big shit that sound like a bazooka sound, and I shoot quicker than ain't gotta be a hoop around. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Gun on me, it ain't never for show, homie. I'm far from a bully, but I'm never a hoe. Get out of line, my Beretta will blow. Real talk, we can take the beef wherever we go. I bring it to your front door like I'm Uber Eats. I guarantee you listen up when this Ruger speaks. Plus I maneuver through these streets like a ghost, and I'm handy with the heat. I cook a nigga like a roast. On me, homie, this is not a boast. I will still come through, boy, and stop a nigga's post. Play him close, man, air will ease it. Quickly off the waistband, man, and air will squeeze it. Leave you niggas laid out dead or paraplegic. Niggas playing in these streets while I'm very strategic. I come to your house dressed like the gas man. Shoot you 9 times, leave you stretched by the trash can. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. I don't put shit on Facebook, I just holler in person. Put the pistol in your mouth while you hollering in cursing. All that shit you kept rehearsing and put on your live, got your clap with the big 4-5. You bitch nigga, if you tell me to pull up, I'ma do that. That nigga who was whooping first nigga that I shoot at. Ski mask on my face, bystanders be like, who that? I ain't with the talking, bitch boy, I thought you knew that. Leave his brains where my shoe at and bounce like I'm on a trampoline. Leave you laid out, nigga, like you camping on the scene. If you want something sweet, grab a peach or tangerine. Niggas won't smoke, but fuck it, I'ma let them handle steam. AR with the beam, you see the red dot? We tug on this trigger, nigga, it'll make your head pop. Blood pouring down to your shoes, call it Red Sox. Your brains hanging all over your shoulders like some dreadlocks. Expect the gang of dead off if they ever cross the line. The Lord said in the Bible, oh, revenge is mine. So I'm just trying to find a righteous path between the two. Before I lose control and do the shit I used to do. This being humble shit is new. I'm trying to turn the other cheek, but I ain't never been a bitch, so watch your mouth when you speak. Your mercy's what I seek, so I pray on bended knees. Don't let me get the K with the extended clip and squeeze. Lord, please. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps.
All right, y'all, that was Brother Eric, 16 to life. Y'all know the deal with him, 24 years in California penal system. Good dude. If you get a chance, go over there and check him out. I got my merch today. I got my Yard Down t-shirt. And I also got my Yard Down pullover. Shout out to Brother Eric. I got all my stuff. So looks good too. Good quality. Looks like. But if you go put Brother Eric to work. Go put him to work out there, man. Good dude, man. Change his ways, trying to get these youngsters, keep them out of the out of the prisons. And got a lot of funny stories to it as well. But he's just a good dude, man. Very sharp, very intelligent brother. All right, that's Brother Eric. Shout out to Brother Eric. Y'all thought I was up here by myself. No. Somebody else is up here too with me. Patrice.
Good evening, brother. How you doing?
I'm fine. I wish I sounded as good as you sound. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Maybe I got to start bringing some more youngsters up here so you'll be all, yeah, good evening, brother.
That's right. You got to bring some young, handsome young men that's very successful, like this brother we getting ready to interview, you know?
I ain't even mad at you, sis. I ain't even mad at you. Right on, right on. How you doing today, sis?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing today?
Blessed as always. That's the best word I can use in the English language. Give you a kind of an understanding of how I am, but I am blessed for sure, for sure. All right, right. Sis, who we got and how do we get this person? Who do we have and how do we get this person? Wait, hold on. Patrice,
yeah, listen, brother.
Let me before you get started, let me shout everybody out real quick.
Yeah,
let me
shout out
Risa Neal. Glad to have you back. You was there for that other little preemptive I did earlier today. Shout out to you. Brother Vaughn, glad to have you in the building, brother. And of course, OG Patrice is here. And the rest of y'all that's in the bushes out there. All right, Patrice, go ahead.
Where's Brother Rico at?
You know what? I called him. He didn't answer. He said he had some stuff he had to do. So he said he might could try. But, Rico, he got to split time between us and his family. So
I understand that. I understand.
So yeah, we had to give him some grace.
You know, you got to do what you got to do. It's all good.
Yeah. I know when he don't answer the phone. I know it's family man.
Sometimes. I miss his crazy stuff sometimes.
Yeah. We all do. So he.
Did I just say that out loud?
yeah. We all do. So, but sometimes when he don't even answer, sometimes he'll answer and say, "Hey man, I'm busy. I got to do this and that." But when he don't even answer, I know that he got caught up in some family matters. So his wife probably said, "Rico, you taking me out to dinner or something like that?" So he got to go. But I ain't mad at that. We know what we got to do as husbands. We know what we got to do. All right, Patrice. Patrice, young lady.
Yes, sir.
We have a guest, a special guest here today, and you are the reason why this person is here. Who is this person, and what are we going to be talking about today?
Can you see me, brother? Okay.
Beautiful, brother. Beautiful,
awesome.
Sis.
I am so excited, brother, to bring this young man to the platform. I am so honored that he said yes when I met him and asked him and told him I would love to interview him. He didn't change words. And I tell you, this young man, you guys, you're going to hear more from him. That's all I got to say. You're going to hear more from this young man. I'm excited to bring to you guys Mr. Aaron Thompson, who is a former LAPD police officer turned comedian, right? So very interesting.
That's interesting.
Just to do a little introduction, I met him when I went to see Lunel here in Arizona, and he is an opening act for Lunel. That's where I met the young man at, and I was very impressed with his comedic timing and his stage presence. But what really captured me the most is how he embarked his police officer, being a police officer, he embarked that into his stand-up and made it funny. And I thought that was just like very, very clever of him to do that. And I just literally after he got through performing, he just happened to come and sit at the table where I was, and I asked him. I was like, I would love to interview you and talk about, because I'm on a I just recently joined here in Arizona an organization that helps fight against police brutality. And I said, and I would love to bring you on, hearing the things that this young man says that he does and how he brings comedy and his former line of work together. And I just thought it'd be great to hear his perspective, right? So I'm going to give you a little introduction, read a little bit about his bio. So guys, you guys can know about this young man, because I'm telling you, look out for this young man, because he is up and coming. He is hilarious, very, very talented. His name is Aaron Thompson. So who is Aaron Thompson? All right, I'm glad you asked. Aaron Thompson is a stand-up comedian who happens to be a former Los Angeles police officer. His passion for entertaining is brought to the stage along with his occupation and calling to bridge the gap. Sorry, honey, I can't even listen. I got my upset eyes on, I can't even read. Calling to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community with laughter. He is a husband. Sorry, ladies, he's a husband, father, and a police officer who invites the audience into his extraordinary style of community that connects the community and law enforcement with a common bond of laughter. Aaron serves as a consultant as well on movie and television sets due to his law enforcement experience and expertise as a police officer. Aaron gives his heart to the community. He serves by coaching youth basketball and developing relationships in the community of Watts, California, that extends beyond the badge. In addition, Aaron uses his bachelor's degree in English to tutor students. Aaron is currently an opening act for Cat Williams' 100 City World War III tour, and now he can add to his repertoire / bio, none other than Miss Lunell. So,
all right.
Yeah, this brother, listen, I'm telling you, this brother, when I saw him, Bro Clarence, I was so impressed with his comedic timing. And again, I've never, like I said, I've seen comedians, talk about jobs they've had and bring the jobs they have into their comedy and make it funny. But to be a police officer that actually works in the community, boots on the ground, right. and is a part of the community and bridging that gap and bringing policing and law enforcement into the community with laughter. So he has a story to tell about his humble beginnings of how he started off with that. So I am so excited to be interviewing him, and I'm glad he is gracing our panel with his presence. Is he backstage, Bro Clarence? Can you see him?
Yet. Not yet.
Okay. All right, because I gave him a time, to do that. So I had asked him also to forward me a video of his comedy, and because I'm on my phone, and he did send it to me on WhatsApp, but it's too big, I can't play it. So I asked him to send it to you. So I'm hoping that he does that, so that
I've seen a bunch of videos, but I've seen a bunch of videos of him on YouTube. I watched him a bunch of times.
Okay, can you pull something up then, maybe on YouTube?
Oh yeah, I thought it was something specific you wanted there for him.
Let's do that. Pull something up now, since he's not backstage yet. Pull something up where the audience can see.
Yeah. Funny cat. He's a funny cat. Let me look up something real quick. Yeah, I checked him out. And
I follow him on I follow him on IG. I'm telling you, and he be doing the little skits on IG as well. That is just hilarious. But yeah, guys, look for Aaron Thompson. He is definitely up and coming. He is funny. He is very charismatic in the way he carries his comedy. Let me know when you have a video.
I'm almost there, sis. Almost there.
Okay. So you guys in the chat, relax, get your popcorn ready, and yeah, check it out.
Oh, sorry, too fast. It's crazy, man. I pulled over a dude the other day. He ran a stop sign. Now we all do that California roll out here, right? We all do that like, okay.
No, we don't. No,
No,
Thompson, we don't do that, man. Not in California.
We all do that.
Always
right?
follow the law.
And we do that. I didn't see the cop hiding to the last second stop. And,
Yeah.
oh shit! And you in the middle of the intersection. You look both ways like nothing happened. Like, okay, I'm good. But this dude just ran the stop sign like it was a green light. And I wasn't going to pull him over, but he said, "What's up?" to me when he did it. I was like, really? And at the same time, I was really not trying to pull him over because I needed to watch the rest of the episode on Netflix I was watching at the time. This is getting good. So I get behind him. I give him that pucker factor. And I get out the car. Now, rap music is blaring. Ain't nothing wrong with rap. I love rap. It's just this new rap I'm not really into yet. Like, the beat is cool, but you could tell the drugs that they're taking with the music that they're making. Right? The Percocet, the lean. They falling asleep while they're making this music. Right? I come from the 80s and 90s. That's that cocaine era. That cocaine.
All right, let's stop it right here. Our esteemed guest is here.
Our guest is here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. None other than Mr. Aaron Thompson. Y'all give it up for him in the chat on the panel. Sir, thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you. We are honored to have you. You are more than welcome.
Pleasure is mine. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Guys, give me 1 second. Let me shout out Sister Annie. Good to have you in the building, Sister Annie. You thought I was gonna miss you. I got you. I think I got everybody. Vaughn, get up here if you got a chance. Get a minute. Get up here. All right. Sorry about that, Mr. Thompson. As you were.
Oh no. Thanks for having me. And Sister Annie, thanks for
thanks for joining us, right?
Yeah.
Listen, Aaron, I don't know if you heard, but I kind of told, the panel, my partner here, and I told the chatter how we met, how, I met you here. I'm in Arizona, and you were the opening act for Lunel, and you actually came and sat at the table where I was sitting after you done your stand-up. And I was like, wait a minute. I just saw that, you were so good at what you do. I never would have guessed that you were a police officer had you not incorporated that into your act and said that you were a former police officer. And I think you had mentioned that night that you had just officially was able to leave your job. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was able to resign in January. I resigned January. I want to say 6th was my last day, officially in the books as a police officer. So that was my last day in January.
Oh wow! Well, congratulations to you. Absolutely. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I just wanted to ask him, how long did he sit there, and how long were you at LAPD?
I was an LAPD officer for it would have been 14 years altogether in April. It would have been 14 years in April. Yeah. So I walked away from it without the pension, without all of that.
Man. So, Listen, I was getting ready to say, like, how many years would you have had to put in before you would have been able to qualify for the pension, and be able to, whether you resign or retire or whatever, how long you have had to put in for that?
So at LAPD, it's to receive a pension, you've had to do 20 years.
I think, yeah.
And it's only like maybe half, not even half of 100% to do 20 years. And I came on kind of late. I was a man when I came on. I was 28 already when I got hired. And so then to receive that pension, you had to be 50. Right. Then to receive, so I would have been 48, retired for 2 years. I wouldn't have been able to get the pension, so I would have had to find some other type of job anyway. And then to get full medical, you have to be 55, and then I would only have had 27 years on at 55. So I would have had to stay. Then I would have been like, well, I'm 55, 27 years on. I could stay for another 3.
Yeah, you have to do another 3.
And then to get
75%.
To get 75%. And then to get 30 so I can get 100%, I was not trying to be a police officer at 60 years old.
Right. You did the math, right? And you said, look, math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing.
The math, and I'm not even good at math. I was an English major in college. So I was just like, yo, that don't add up. And then a lot of officers, when they retire, they have to do something else for income as well. So because they're going on trips and this and that, but after a while, they're like, man, I need to make another form of income because they're relatively young. When you're in your 60s, that's young. Like you still are living life. You're still going places. You know what I'm saying? Right. Unless you have some really bad, ailments or, you're sick, but 60 years old, man, you playing golf, you going out, you going places. And now I was not trying to work until I was 60, 65 years old, and then have to work again some more just to make a living. I wanted to do something that I was passionate about that didn't feel like work. And so I just decided to walk away.
I hear you. Hold that thought, because we're going to get into the juicy details of how you kind of flowed into your now career. But I want to just commend you because, it's tough to do that. It's tough a lot of times for people to walk away to pursue their passion, especially like you said, you look at it from a broader scope and you said, look, this math ain't mathing for me, and I'm not trying to be some old man coming out here. And because I know police officers, for the most part, they have second jobs already anyway. They take night jobs, weekend jobs, they moonlight a lot. So
overtime,
they take a lot of overtime. So I get it. I get it. And it's hard to walk away from that, right? You just know I commend you, because the average person, if they really could do that, a lot of people would have walked away a long time ago from their jobs to pursue their dreams or their passion, right, in life, for what it is they want to do. So with that being said, walk us down this memory lane for you of what that looked like for you. Tell us a little bit about your humble beginnings, where you from, where you grew up, and and just bring us into how all this came to fruition for you.
All right. Well, so I was born in LA, and back in the 80s. I was born in 80, and I was born in LA. My mom, my pops, they were married at the time. And, my dad had a painting business. My mom, worked for a law firm. But, they both came from very, very humble beginnings. My dad dropped out of high school at like 15 to become a jazz band and tour with his band and stuff at 15 years old. And he went back in his 20s and 30s, I think, and got his GED. My mom, she moved around a lot. Her mom had them moving around a lot and married a few times. And so, when they met each other, my mom already had a daughter at infant age, my older sister. and my dad basically took her in and stuff like that. But things happened to where, you know, my mom's stepfather was a drug dealer in LA, like pretty big time. And so she started being a runner for him, you know, and my dad, you know, didn't really like what was going on, and he had addictions as well. So he tried to step in, and he was like, yo, if I'm you know, if I'm gonna keep my wife, I'm about to try to become a power couple and start trying to like do the business with her father or her stepfather. But you know, it didn't work. It backfired. Not good businessmen don't make good business decisions. And at the same time, my dad was thinking like, oh, I just got to get my family out of this element. So we ended up leaving around I was around 84, 85. I was about 4 years old. We moved to where he's from, Rockford, Illinois. And that's where things kind of got a lot tougher for them as relationship wise, and addictions and all that stuff. So they separated, and around 12 years old, moved to Northern California. My mom was dealing with addiction herself, on and off of drugs, and we ended up moving a lot. I was in like 5 different schools in 7th grade alone, getting evicted, was homeless a few times, didn't have place to stay. So we finally moved down back to Southern California, where she rekindled some old flame with this dude she knew from a long time ago, and he ended up being an alcoholic and abusive to her. They got married. After she went to rehab, got out of rehab clean. When I was in junior high, we moved to a nice place called Santa Clarita in outskirts of California, LA. Really nice place. I call it Pleasantville because I never seen anywhere that watered their trees on the side of the road. I was like, yo, this is nice. I like this. And I had 2 younger sisters and stuff. Yeah, it's real nice. 2 younger sisters. So I was kind of like their father figure growing up, and, you know, and so, you know, in high school, my mom got beat up really bad with her husband, finally kicked him out. And then he came back for a spell, and then she realized like, hey, I can't put him over my kids, and you know, this cycle can't happen. So he, you know, she kicked him out finally, with the grace of me, because I came and talked to her, and he wouldn't want to talk to her without me. I mean, he wouldn't let me talk to her about what I needed to talk to her about without him. And I was a freshman in college at the JC running track. And I was like, yo, I need to talk to you. And he was like, well, whatever you have to say to her, you can say to me. I was like, well, I fear for my mom's life. And he was 6'5", 300-pound dude, was huge. And I've seen him, you know, beat some drug addicts up before and all that stuff. And so I knew what he was capable of, but I don't know, something came over me, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna just say it. And I said, yo, I'm afraid for my mom's life. I sleep with a knife under my bed, and, you know, thinking that, you know, you're gonna harm her and stuff like that. And he was like, well, she should have put his hands on me. She shouldn't have got in my way. She should have let me leave when I wanted to talk. I said, you a grown man, you could have just left. And she looked at him and was like, wait, so you still feel you right for what you did? He was like, well, I felt threatened. And then she was like, you know what, I want you out of here. And finally they just was like, all right, but, you know,
that was it.
Let's just separate. That was it. And then my mom, you know, my mom's been sober since like 95. Wow. And my dad's been sober since 96. He's remarried and lived in Illinois. And then I transferred from that JC to Cal State Northridge, and I wanted to be a teacher. Got my English degree, ran track over there. I ran track over there. And then my boy was like, one time, my boy who played in the NFL, Emmanuel White, he played for the Redskins. He got hurt. He didn't want to play anymore. He came back home. Was like, I'm gonna be a firefighter, man. What you gonna do? I was like, I'll take a class with you. I took the EMT class because I was coaching basketball and track, and worked with at-risk youth. I was working with kids that needed help in the classroom and needed help emotionally because things were going on with them. So I had some cases where I was doing that as well. And then so the firefighter thing wasn't my thing. I was in that class. I was messing around. I was like, this ain't me. And then I went over to his house one time. He's like, yo, why don't you become a police officer? I was like, for what? I don't like the police. Like, no, I'm cool. And he was like, yeah, but Huh?
Who like the police, especially being from like California and Chicago and
right.
you know
But
New York.
I ran into a couple cool police that made me think about it after he said it, because I remember when my mom was at rock bottom, like it was her worst. She left for like 4 days. Her ex-husband was all upset that she left because she went with some friends. They called. He called like social services. They came to my school after I dropped the kids off. I lied to them. I was like, "Yo, my grandmother's sick. She went to go visit her. She's coming back tomorrow." Then that night, police came. Van Nuys from Van Nuys Division, LAPD. They came to my house. I was about 14 years old. And they were like doing a welfare check. And they were like, "Well, where's your mom?" I was like, "Well, my grandmother's sick. She'll be back in the morning." They were like, "All right. So do we mind if we come in?" So I was like, "No, come on in." So they came in the house, and we didn't have beds. We slept on the cushions on the floor for the couch, and I slept on the floor. So my sister slept on the cushions. I slept on the floor, and they saw that we didn't have any food. They came back. They left. I was like, "Man, we about to be taken." Like, I just had a feeling. They came back, and the police officers had 2 bags of groceries each.
Wow.
I mean, 5 bags of groceries each.
Wow.
Between the 2 of them. So 2 things came to my head. I was like, all right, well, these cops really cared about us. And 2, they didn't want to wait for DCFS and do no paperwork. So it was
right.
And I was like, yeah, that's probably, now that, after I became a cop, I was like, yeah, that's what they did.
I want to say before you continue on, thank you so much for sharing your story, because it resonates with real people, with our people, right? It resonates about the trials and tribulations of what the drug era did to our people in our community, right? And you are a product of that, but it's a beautiful thing of how we come out on the other side of that, right? Yeah. We know that era literally almost destroyed, for lack of a better word, it did destroy a lot of our community. The breakdown of families, like you said, and the domestic violence and things that went on. Excuse me, in a lot of our families, it's familiar territories. So thank you for sharing that and just being real and open and honest, because it's so many of our people's stories, right? And we have this platform all the time talking about how, we are still just now recovering. People that were in that era, it's taken us 30 plus years, and we're still recovering from that crack era and what it did to our community and what it did to a lot of our family members and things of that nature. So thank you for sharing your story with us. And I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, so I know Rockford. I know exactly where you're talking about, where you lived for a while and where your dad was from. So I'm not going to interrupt. I just wanted to say that to you. I want you to continue talking, saying it, walking us down your memory lane of how you grew up and how you landed to be that police officer and then now turned comedian. So please continue on.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your kind words too. But
okay, we gotta have Aaron come back, man, because I never seen Patrice on such good behavior, man. I mean, we gotta start having you come back every day, brother, because Patrice is he's like a 16-year-old girl today. Holy smokes!
Hey, don't be giving away. Don't be telling on me.
Hilarious.
I'm good, even when I'm bad. I'm good.
She's always good. But she's always good. But I mean, man,
she's passionate.
Like extra good. Yeah, man. If you got to put star by her name, I had to put 3 or 4 stars by her name already. We just got started.
Listen. She's always good, but that Chicago will come out.
Hey,
and I'm from Chicago too, originally.
Let me introduce you to our brother Aaron Thompson, Mr. Bond Bryant. This is Aaron Thompson. He's telling us his story. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Patrice. Please continue, young lady.
Yes, I just want to tell Aaron because the night the night that I met him in Arizona when he opened up for Lunel. And I know, you know, COVID is still going on and everything. And I wanted to meet her so bad because I know normally she does do the meet and greet. But I knew that because I follow her on IG too, the last time that she had said, the last time she did the meet and greet during COVID, somebody gave her COVID. She contracted it. So I understand why a lot of the celebrities and things are not doing the meet and greets. But we actually know a lot of people. We have some friends in common. But you know, hopefully one day I'll get to meet her. But I was very impressed with your work and you opening up for her. And then I was hoping that you were going to do the meet and greet. And I'm glad that you did, because we got to take a picture and everything and actually have the conversation. And but when you came and actually sat at the table where I was, and I know you was low key guarding, you was on bodyguard duty too. I saw you was bodyguarding Lunel. I checked you out. I was like, yeah, you're on bodyguard duty as well. So I got it. But you came and sat at my table because I know we was up in front. So I know you was kind of watching out and watching her and stuff, and as you should. But I just took the opportunity to ask you because I was so impressed with how you incorporated being a police officer into your comedy. So you can continue.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Yeah. So when
the cops brought the groceries.
Yeah, you was talking about
my friend said that when the cops, brought my groceries, I was like, man, when that happened when I was about 14, and I said, you know what? Okay, maybe all cops ain't bad, right? So that was the first time I witnessed that all cops weren't bad, and because I never had like the other time that I had a dealing with a cop, I was in Rockford. I was like 9. I got caught shoplifting, and he like the cop took me back to and let me go with my older sister, even though she was a little underage at the time. So I was like, all right, well, I had some dealings with them, and I got pulled over before for speeding, and it was my fault, when I was like 19. So I was like, okay, when it came to police, I ended up saying, there's an exception for everyone. Let me not judge everyone based on, what people talk about. Let me give my own judgment. And so when the opportunity came, when my boy was like, yo, why don't you become a cop? I was like, I went to go talk to a sheriff about it because the money was good where they started from. And I made a little more because I have my bachelor's degree. Right. So I went to the sheriff that I knew that I played ball with. And he was kind of like, he was like, just go on sheriff.com. He didn't really give me any time of day about it. So then I was like, I'm not going to be no sheriff then, forget them. And then I coached the kid whose dad was a shooting instructor in the LAPD. He used to play for the White Sox. And he was like, he reminded me of Jim Carrey. This dude was goofy as heck and like really cool, tall white dude. And I went to him. His name is Wayne Edwards. I went to him and I said, hey, man, I'm thinking about becoming a cop. What do you think? And he got all excited. He was like, yo, come to my house at 2:00 on Saturday. We'll talk. I'll let you know how it is. I went. He had all these pamphlets out, trophies, things. He said, look, you could. He got me with this. He said, you could still teach kids on the department if you wanted, because you wanted to be a teacher. You can still teach. You can still coach. He said, you could play ball on duty. You could run track for the team. He said you could do all this stuff for sports. And I was like, for real? I was like, oh, heck yeah. Let me, let's try this. And my mom had a felony from her past. My sister had a felony from her past. They were both living with me. We were all living together. I think I had just bailed my mom out because it was like some welfare fraud. She all she did was like sign something for my sister, and it was like more than the system's messed up. Like they'll put women and men on probation for 5 years and all these fees, but you get caught with a gun and it ain't that bad. Like it's crazy, right? But anyway, and my credit wasn't great, but for some reason I got hired faster than. And with all the background that I had, I got hired faster than most people get hired. I got hired, and I remember meeting the recruiter, and he was just like, Aaron, let me tell you, I like you, and good things happen to good people. And I got hired in 4 months, and it usually takes 6 months to a year. And that's with everything in my background. I disclosed everything. They kind of couldn't understand that I never smoked weed growing up. I didn't have my first drink till I was 23, but they didn't understand. It didn't comprehend to these old white dudes that the reason why I didn't, even though I grew up in that element, is because it was killing my folks. Like, why would I participate in what's killing my folks? Like, or it's not, it's taking away food from our table. I'll come home and my TV be missing, or my stereo system be missing because my mom had to pawn it. It's like,
oh man.
Yeah, so it's like they couldn't fathom that, but I disclosed everything. I freaking passed the polygraph with flying colors, and they did not. I mean, now I indulge in those things, but like at first, but I not much, but it's just I knew growing up I wanted to do something that helped the community and help the world, even though the system is jacked up, even though the system is made for us to fail.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I go in and try to infiltrate it, but I ended up meeting more police that was like me than less. It's just it's just the ones who are not great people or are iffy are the ones for some reason who get the most recognition and then get the most out of, like, so if I go to Watts right now, I can walk around like this with a tank top on, because that's where I worked last. With a tank top on, they love me out there. But other cops can't do that because it's like, out of 10, I would say out of 15 police officer, at least 5 to 7 of at least 5 to 6 of them are no, less than that. Out of 15, I would say at least 3 to 5 are a-holes.
Okay.
But it's the ones that don't want to speak up too much against it because they don't want to be shunned out. But some cops don't care. That I know guys that sue the department left and right if they feel like their rights aren't being, or their voice isn't being heard, or they're being retaliated against. Oh, they'll sue the department in a second. Yeah,
let me ask you this question, because I'm glad you kind of segue into that, because I know, especially in this day and age and the culture we living in now, we know what's going on systemically. Like you're saying, the system is not designed for us, with us in mind, when it comes to the criminal justice system, the prison system. Like, all those things are not even for the average Black, especially the average Black man. And when you had things coming into play like the 3 strikes rule and
our current president and vice president was all for,
exactly,
when it first came out.
Yes, yeah, and the crime bill, the 94 crime bill, like all of those things affected our community and especially our men the most. When you look at the unevenly yoked position in the criminal justice system, how someone of our color can do a crime and then someone of another color can do the same crime, but we tend to get sentenced the harshest and things of that nature, right? So when you're talking about the judicial system, the criminal justice, the prison system, we know that it was not designed with us in mind to be equal, to be in the same favor as some of our other race counterparts, right? So now in your career, and I know because I told you I was a part of an organization that helps fight against police brutality. And honestly, and I've seen things in my lifetime and experienced things. I come from the era of, I had 2 uncles that were Black Panthers in Illinois. I come from the gang culture of, I remember being a little girl. I remember when they first started out, and the Disciples and all these other gangs were actually community activists. They were not like gang banging is going on, today and things of that nature. It started out with them actually wanting to help their community. So seeing that change over time happen, I experienced a lot of, and my family, my son have experienced, my uncles, when they were Black Panthers, experienced a lot of police brutality. When I was a little girl, I think I had to be about 6 or 7 years old. My uncles was Black Panthers, and there was a bomb thrown in our house. We lost everything. This was in like the latter part of the 60s, and we lost everything and had to start all over again. And this was done by the people in blue, this, because that was infiltrating into the Black Panther Party, the COINTELPRO, and all the things that happened back then. And then I grow up and I see my son get profiled, walking home from having surgery, got roughed up really bad, stitches was busted, out. I had to take him back, and now he's 15, 16 years old in high school. And now knowing that as a mother then, and what I tell a lot of young mothers and fathers now, because we literally have to have conversations with our Black boys, like literally about the police. We have to have the conversation, right? And back then, I didn't grow up with that type of culture. I grew up with the kind of police that you say you were. We had Officer Friendly coming to our school. We had, the police actually lived in the communities that they served. So I knew officers and things of that nature. Mr. Johnson that stayed down the street, round the corner, up the block, that actually was a police officer in the community that he served. And so much of that culture has changed and everything. So, so seeing so much of that is what made me really start wanting to fight against what's going on a lot today with policing, and seeing how the culture has changed a lot, and seeing a lot of the systemic racism and things and the unfair treatment and things of that nature is the reason why I do what I do, and helping fight that. And I told you that, when we had the conversation, I told you that I did a lot of community work. And in your comedy, you talked about the community work that you did, and how, like you're saying, when you are good and when you're doing right and when you're serving your community, even as a police officer, like you said, you can go to Watts right now and walk the street and you cool, you good, everybody know you. But those other cops that are not like that wreak havoc on people in our community, they're not able to do that. And I think the big thing, and let me know what you think, Aaron, the big thing is that the trust factor is gone, right? They want us to snitch and tell on each other, but there's no trust built between the police officers and the community, right? I don't think that they're trying to reach out and be more of trying to bridge that gap with building trust in the community, like you're doing by mentorships and bringing your laughter, your comedic, what you're doing with your being a comedian to the forefront with that. And you grew up in a culture where you understand what happened to our community, and that it was not just all our fault, which is we're being the poster child of it's all our fault with what's happening in the community. We know that's not true. So what's your take on how can we, like what you're doing, Bill or other police officers that are actively doing it now, working on how can the trust be built back in the community between police officers?
Hold that thought, Aaron. Hold that thought. We're going to take just another minute to look at the comedy stylings of Mr. Aaron Thompson just for a minute, so we can break it up just a little bit.
Cool.
You don't mind,
nice.
Brother Aaron? Do you mind, Brother Aaron?
Yeah. Yeah, then he can answer the question. So we're going to show you more of your video clip.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want to hear. Okay, I don't want to show something and he'd be like, "No, don't show that." All right.
I get up to the car. I'm like, "Hey, yo, man, you got any warrants?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "What you mean you don't know?" I said, "Step out the car, man." He steps out the car. He takes off running. I'm like, "Oh, he don't know." I ran track in college. I even give you a 5-second head start. I'm like, yo, I look at my partner, yo, get your gun out. No. Point it up and start me. I'm chasing after him. Ha, I'm gonna catch you. But see, I forget where I am. And I get a flashback. And I end up passing the dude. I lost another one, but I won the race. One, it's good to have a good partner. My job is crazy. You have to have crazy partner. I gotta have a good partner. And don't judge, my partner is gay, okay? It's 2019, it's okay. It's okay, man. It's 2019. My partner's gay. My sister's gay. She's married to a beautiful woman. They have kids from previous relationships by men who made them turn gay. I'm a good brother.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So, yeah, we're trying to mix it up, brother. We're gonna stop it right there. Okay.
Hey, it's funny too because
Very
I'm
good.
watching it and it's kind of old, and I'm like, ooh, it's like it's so much better now than it was then. I added some things and stuff.
But that's
like
because
that.
you grow, right? As you continue to do it, you grow.
Yeah,
it's our first time seeing it, man. It's funny.
So you could see growth, right? Now to me it was good.
I added some things that you guys might like. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. You can hit us up with some tickets, and then we can go see the county now. All right, brother. And now we're gonna let you answer that 5-hour question that Patrice.
That was a long question. Now I'm sorry. I have to.
Y'all know I'm long with it. Y'all know I'm long with it.
Like Rico.
Patrice, man, that was like a 5 section question right there. Like,
y'all know how I am now. Y'all know I'm long with it. But basically, my question was, how can we gain that trust?
Right. Yeah. We was just trying to figure out when you were gonna land, because you was circling in the air for a while there, and we were like,
like it ain't ready to come down yet.
She wasn't ready to land,
Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I do.
All right.
The trust. So it's so many levels with this. The unit that I worked for right before, for 6 years before I left, it's called Community Safety Partnership. Like the President Obama, he sent our deputy chief and sergeant at the time out to the White House to talk about it. It was so good that it really did a job. However, there's always some bad cops in the mix. Not bad cops, I should say no people skill cops in the mix. Hardcore, gun-ho cops in the mix that shouldn't have been in the unit. That kind of messes things.
Makes them bad cops. Gung-ho? I think that makes them bad cops. Say gung-ho?
Well, gun-ho? Like gun-ho meaning like that's all they want to try to get. Like their main focus is trying to get guns off the street. And that's a good thing. However, their tactics or their delivery isn't great, right? And so we worked in Watts, where we are assigned to every housing development, right? So I give you an example of what you shouldn't do as a community-based police officer, or any officer at that, where you're riding around the projects or the housing developments, and you see and you just get to the unit, and you see a guy or two walking down the street, and it is a high gang area for sure. And the gangs, unfortunately, aren't letting the people who are voiceless have a voice. They're double parked. Some people can't even walk they have to walk around to the back door because they're sitting on their porch. They're like, you come home and you like, yo, y'all on my porch shooting dice, and I can't even get to my front door. They won't even say nothing. No, it'll be like families, and they'll have to walk all the way around because they don't want to deal with that element. If you drive through Watts right now, they are hanging out right now like clockwork. It's clockwork. And so it's those are called quality of life issues that we're sent there now to deal with. So, but we have to do it in a community police way. And so you get a dude that could be or could not be a gangster, but he's fit the description. All right, he's sagging. He got his colors on. Maybe now it's a little different with colors. They don't really do colors anymore because they just want to look good, right? So that everything matches. If it's red in a blue neighborhood, that's how it is. So, but if they know each other, it don't matter. But a guy walks up to him and says, "Hey, where do you live? What's your name? Where are you going?" And it's a consensual stop. And if the dude keeps going, that's fine. But once he knows that, oh, are you on probation? Yeah, now I can stop him, right? So there's levels to it. Instead of going up to this guy and saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Getting out of your car, walking around, going up to a group of guys or one or two guys that you've never seen before. And this is how I did it. Because I was partnered up with an OG, and the dude that I was partnered with, he was in this area for a long time. And this is how I talk to people anywhere. I walk up to him, I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Aaron." They see I have a uniform on. I ain't got to say my last name. It's on my name tag. I tell them my first name. "Hey, how you doing? My name is Aaron. I'm assigned to this area now. If you have any questions or anything that's going on that you need help with or something, you let me know." And that's my first introduction to them. It's not, hey, where do you live? Are you on probation or parole? Even if they shooting dice, I'll go up to them and be like, "Hey, yo, I'm Aaron, y'all." If they shooting dice, and this is my first introduction to them. "Hey, I'm Aaron. I'm new to the area, but if y'all have any concerns, let me know." Now they don't like me already because I'm a cop, right? They already judging me, but I come off like that. They kind of like, "Yo, this dude kind of different." Then it's like, "Oh, by the way, do me a favor, man. We get a lot of flack from our supervisors and other people that live around here. Can y'all not shoot the dice right here? Can y'all just like shoot it somewhere where nobody could see you, like where y'all could get y'all money? Y'all don't have to, it's not a basketball game. Y'all ain't got no fans. Go make y'all money somewhere else. Go play it." And to be honest with you, I would probably be playing with y'all if I could too, but I can't, And it'll be one of those things. And then, you get a chuckle here, or somebody be like, "Man, fuck this guy," and they walk away. But that's my first introduction. So now the next time they see me, it's like, "Oh, that's that one cop that's different. He cool." And that's how I built a rapport. I built a rapport with them. I was assigned to Nickerson Gardens in the beginning.
Oh wow! Wow! Yeah, that's not a fun playground.
But for you two guys, that's from Chicago. Take Brittany Greens and put it in Watts.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. I tell them that all the time. Yeah. Don't let California fool you, because they got some areas and spots.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, so Top Dog, the owner of Top Dog Entertainment that signed Kendrick Lamar, J-Rock, Schoolboy Q, and Absol, like they're from that area, or Top is from that area. J-Rock is from that area, grew up in that area, was part of the gang life, drug life. They got out, of course. They're making millions and millions of dollars now, but he comes back every year to do a free concert, toy giveaway, and all that stuff. The first year they had it, I was introduced to Top. I went up to Top, was like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Aaron Thompson." He goes, "Oh, okay, cool. Nice to meet you, man." And he moved on. The second time around that day, he came up to me. He was like, "Yo, man, I heard about you. You be rapping and playing ball with the kids, huh? I'm like, yeah. He goes, hey, I appreciate you taking care of my people over here. He goes, every time we have this concert, I want you on Kendrick Lamar. So as his bodyguard with his security, I just need a gun on him. And I was like, all right, cool. And after that, we're friends to this day. I've been to the studio, I've been to concerts, and it's just building that trust comes from letting them in as a human and not as a police officer.
Now,
My name ain't Officer Thompson. Right. My name is Aaron.
Right.
And
so Aaron,
right. Yeah.
Is this something that the academy had little sessions with you all and taught you this technique, or is this something you just came up with? And with your involvement, did you have any type of in-services where they would suggest that you would do something like that, or take that type of approach? Did you learn that from the academy, or was it something that you kind of came up with yourself?
Good question. It was both. Okay, because I'm that kind of person anyway. So that was number one. Two, I always thought I got a badge and a gun. I have the power to detain and the power to arrest. I don't see any more power than that on these streets. A judge ain't out here. The president ain't out here. The mayor is not out here. I'm out here. I got more power in these streets right now, walking around. Now, some guys take that and be like, yeah. But some guys and girls take that and be like, I'm going to humble myself. And so I was already like that. In the academy, they had a new thing called Capra, where everybody in Los Angeles city limits, because I was LAPD, is a client. That's what they tried to teach us. Everybody is a client. How you treat that client, how you go about treating that client. This is what they were teaching in the academy, right? At the same time of self-defense or defending others and stuff like that. They're doing that in the academy now. Since I've been in there, last 14 years. However, because we still got the old heads and the old mentality, black or white or Hispanic, doesn't matter. Some of the training officers, when you get your first day out and you meet your training officer, depending on their mindset, is whatever you learned for the last 6 months, it doesn't apply anymore.
Wow.
So they're trying to teach you, their bad habits and their old mentality ways. Some of them, not all of them, just some of them. And so to answer your question, it was a little bit of both, because the academy nowadays, they are teaching you, and they do have in-service people, doctors, activists. They'll come and do panels in the academy, and they have trainings after you're a police officer. You have to go back to the academy for like 4 days and have these different trainings now. But sometimes people still don't know how to apply it. So they'll hear it and they'll be like, nah, that's some BS, because when I'm out there, they don't work where I work, and they don't understand that once I get out my car, they'll be like, man, what the hell y'all doing out here? Y'all always bothering us, before some officers even get a chance to talk to some people. So but how do you change that is before getting out the car and really trying to engage in people around that area, no matter what they look like, no matter what age. And I think that's what officers need to really, really try to do. And yes, we're held to a higher standard as an officer, and people just gonna have to deal with that. I know, like, you may be arguing with your significant other. You come to work, then you got this dude MFing you and this girl MFing you, and I know, like, some people can't handle it. Well, then you shouldn't have became a cop. Like,
thank you for saying that. I want to say, because you said something that resonated with me about the power that you realized you had, right? I think that most cops go in the job with good intentions, right? Thinking that they're going to change the community and make a difference and, be a better cop. But then when they realize they have the power, like you said, to play judge, jury, and executioner for some people, that power can go to their heads and it becomes something else. And like you said, the training that they had, they get a partner with an old, different frame set, and they say, nah, man, it ain't going down like this. You in these streets now, it's real. You got to do this and you got to be like that. And you got to, so I think it changes, that dynamic changes over a period of time with the power that person have. I think that they learn to exercise it, you know, wrong a lot of times.
And we all have older friends or people that are a little older that are stuck in their ways, right? And so we all know this in any profession. They're just stuck in their ways. They're like, oh, these new teachers coming in, they talking about kumbaya. Forget that. Like, you know, we all got those in different professions. However, there's old heads that are supervisors, and then the young people are moving up in LAPD. They're like moving up fast, and then they're like, ugh, like these young sergeants, and these young sergeants that are pretty smart. They're understanding now risk management. Now they're understanding, like, we can't do what we used to do. You can't just put your hands on people because they didn't listen to you. You gotta learn how to de-escalate. And unfortunately, this is the unfortunate thing about police and hiring police officers straight out of the military and or straight, they're 21, is that if we know the human body, that we know that boys don't stop puberty till 25, women don't stop puberty till 21. Their cerebral cortex does not stop developing till 25 years old, men and women till they're 22, 21, 22. So we have a problem with still developing. And now I'm a police officer, and now people just call me a pig and told me F you. And now it's a pissing contest. How to go back real quick on the trust thing. Before I left, I was trying to work on days of dialogue. Days of dialogue is where you get stakeholders and guys who are not really fond of the police, and they're hanging out that element, and they're some of them are active gang members in the same room with police officers, not ex-gang members, but active gang members and police officers in the same room to talk about, okay, I have to work here as a police officer. These are my expectations of y'all. And the gang members are like, yo, I have to live here, and these are my expectations of y'all. And so once you start getting that dialogue going between the two, whether or not we come to a perfect agreement, but now the expectations are out on the table. I'm not going to let y'all hang out. I'm not going to let y'all hang out past 10 o'clock, banging music all night long, double park, not letting people in their houses. We're not going to let you do that. Our expectations of you is to take care of your community if you live here. And Some of them, and 90% of them don't even live there. They come back just to hang out.
That's
and
right.
Then they invite their friends and stuff like that. And then the police, the gangsters that live there, and the community stakeholders that live here should be like, all right, police officers, I expect you to get out your car and talk to us like we're human beings. Stop barking at us and stop yelling at us all the damn time. Stop, show some type of respect when you talk to me, even though I might be a gang member, I'm still a human being. So if those expectations are talked about, and I feel like in every community and in America, at least it's being talked about. And I think that's where the trust starts to begin getting better.
That's good. Conversations like that, and you don't find that too tough, because we know the reputation that that California has for their policing. Some of the corruption and things that went on, back, it kind of still is, but I know in the 80s it was crazy out there. And Chicago has the history, from the 60s, 70s, and 80s as well. So it's a lot of work that needs to be done, especially in major cities like LA, California, Illinois, New York, and so forth. So to hear you say that these type of things are going on, I think that these are things that can be grassroots, help back building the trust factor in the community, because, you guys, like I tell them in the meetings I have, you guys want us, to snitch, but you guys, we don't have a trust with you guys. Who's going to protect us? Who's going to protect people if they tell on people? I get it. I'm not for the no snitching thing too, especially when somebody that did a drive-by and killed a kid or innocent woman or whatever. So I'm for that. I understand, but know that you guys are not in this community trying to bridge the gap and build the trust up either, because you're coming out with force, you're coming out aggressive, overly aggressive. I've seen police officers literally have guys subdued, handcuffed, but they still beating them, talking about stop resisting. Stop it. Like, no, what we doing? You know what I mean? Things like that. So
not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but so there's paid informants that live in the hood still. People don't know. They be standing right next there smoking a joint to a paid informant, and that informant is giving them everything. Then there's also guys that, so we'll have a city phone, or sometimes the community have our cell phone numbers. And there's a lot of officers that really care about the kids and the moms in the community, and the dads that are fed up with what's going on outside their house and in their houses, the apartments. And so they're getting calls like late at night, like this, crying, like this happened. So now there's officers who are fueled and fired up. So sometimes instead of going individual by individual, they'll go out there thinking like, I just got a call last night, pissed off and emotional, and I'm tired of y'all hanging out and smoking weed all night, all day in front of people's windows, and like and they get all like amped up, and instead of learning how to control that anger, and only some officers know how to do that, and some officers don't know how to control that anger or that frustration for the community or for the voiceless. And then unfortunately, it's funny, the older cats that are quote unquote active but not really active anymore, they got a couple felonies under their belt, but they're working now, they're doing construction, or they're working for the Hackala, or they're working for certain companies that will hire them. They come and they live there, and they're around that element still, and they're just chilling. But then you got these youngsters, 15, 16, 17-year-old coming through with guns and trying to rob people still, and or go to another area to shoot up. And then they find out like, yo, it was Jordan Downs that did it. But the OGs are like, yo, it's this knucklehead we can't control. So now the police are like trying to police everybody. Like they just coming out saying, forget this. Well, then no more hanging out. Everybody got to leave because of one person. But then it's reversed too, because you got a cop who was not a little, but maybe a little too excessive, or just plain too excessive. And now the community's coming out like, fuck the police or F the police because one officer did. So now it's like one dude did this, so F the community. One officer did this, F the police. And so that's why I would love to come. I will come out and talk and do whatever I can to try to let's get these community members a safe place to live, and the gangsters a safe place to reside without being harassed by the police or killed by another gang. And let's get these officers feel safe from their own community that they work in, and stop being too excessive, and stop putting people under one umbrella. Just because I'm sagging my pants don't mean I'm out here doing the crime around here. So that's what I think needs to happen more. And I'm ready to try to collaborate with anybody that's able to help me and come out and do that, because you know, I quit my job. I ain't got a lot of money to just be flying everywhere, but you know.
Well, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, Aaron.
Let me ask this right quick. Would you agree also in today's climate?
Oh Lord, now wait a minute.
No, it's gonna be short, I promise. In today's climate, wouldn't you say that there definitely need to be more training, better mental health training, de-escalation training, better? You know, it's a lot of trigger happy police officers, barely, you know, these incidents. And to me, you know, our citizens shouldn't be losing their lives over traffic stops, right? Like things like minor stuff. What's your take on that? And then they can ask their questions.
Okay, so with the bad past of police and both policing came a lot of turmoil, tragedy, fighting. But now LAPD has they've done a really good job with bringing in people to train officers on mental health, mental illnesses. I just was in one right before I left. It's called MHIT. They bring people who are, you know, OCD, ADD, like all kind of on the spectrum, dealing with people who are on the spectrum when they're like swinging around a bat, knowing how to talk to people. I was always good at that too, because the instructors were always like, yo, I love how you handle that. I was always good at talking to people, even with mental illnesses. So they're police officers, because of all the tragedy, lawsuits and all that stuff, LAPD is like above a lot of other departments in this country. And what has to happen is every department has to get on board with these trainings that a lot of these departments that have money and are bringing in the right people for these trainings. So the trainings still have to have to happen. Officers have to apply that training, and they also have to. The community has to go through a training. There was an officer. He's retired now. His name is Love. He used to hold these what we call the academy, the civilian academies, and we would put them through an academy, like a week academy. The community would go through a week academy for like 4 or 5 days, and there's a false simulator that cops also have to go through, where it's a big huge screen. We have a toy gun, a baton, pepper spray, and we have to deal with this person in front of us as if it was real life. And we engage in them. We try to talk to them, and depending on what goes, if it goes south, like, why did you shoot? All right, well, why did you shoot? Well, I felt like I was in danger. Well, what is, you know, why did you take your holster out? Everything has to be in policy. Well, I took my firearm out because I believe that I believe that the situation was about to result in the use of deadly force. So I have to know my policy. I have to know why I brought the gun
protocol,
out.
right? Yeah.
It's protocol. And the citizens go through this. And I remember one of the citizens in Imperial Courts came up to me. It was like, Thompson, I went through that false training y'all go through. I'm like, yeah. She goes, man, I shot everybody. I didn't know who to shoot. I just shoot everybody. Yeah, because she was like, I saw one person with a crowbar and somebody was standing next to him and they came at me like this. I shot him. I shot that girl. And then they realized, like, yo, y'all got a split second to make a decision, huh? I'm like, yeah, that's how it is.
That's what makes it more difficult. Yeah.
And knowing what to do in that split second, knowing, you know, how do I de-escalate it if I can, or know when I need to use deadly force.
And so every activist, every community member, even up to Sean King, should be putting himself and themselves through these simulations at the police department. They need to go to these police departments. They need to talk to these police to tell them their frustrations. And there's a Watts Gang task force. The old heads, ex-gang members that started Bounty Hunter Bloods, they now are part of the Watts Gang Task Force, and they are the in between the community and the police. And they tell the police, they hold the police accountable, but they also hold the community accountable. And so they ran BLM out of Watts. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but BLM tried to come in during the pandemic. There was an officer-involved shooting. BLM came in Watts, and the stakeholders, gang members, everybody ran them out. And they were like, y'all only want to come around when there's a police-involved shooting, but where are y'all at when our brothers and sisters are getting killed and kids are getting killed in these streets every day? Y'all
that makes a lot of sense. You know, and unfortunately that was the case, but that makes a lot of sense. You know, it's like, don't, you know, and just like in these spaces that we're in right now, you know, a lot of people do things for recognition, you know, clicks, likes, views. And, you know, Black Lives Matter may be in that same category, because, you know, it's like they were doing a good thing, but then they're not following up with it. So now we have a discrepancy, and the people find a discrepancy with it. So, and I can understand that, you know, in my opinion.
Well, I'm gonna find out if Aaron is for real from Watts. Aaron, what's that hamburger place right across the street from Nickerson?
Hawkins, man. Come on.
Come on, man. You ain't never been. This dude is for real. So,
yo,
people come from all over the place. It be even white people out there at Hawkins Burgers, man. Hawkins, man, and they got the tax place across the street.
The best burger I've ever had was from Hawkins, man.
Yeah, Hawkins.
Yeah,
okay,
and
this dude is for real. He been talking for an hour. I didn't know if he was for real from Watts, but now he said Hawkins Burgers. Now I know he's for real.
Oh yeah, I took my family over there, man. Me and my kids went over there,
all the time.
and the wife, man, no, and going back to and then also going back to the BLM thing. I'm upset at BLM organization, like I'm upset at Drake and Trump, and this is why.
Okay, why?
They asked LeBron, hey, so Black Lives Matter, you know, what do you feel? He goes, it's not a trend. I wake up every day and I'm Black. Of course my life matter. I ain't gotta say it. It always has mattered since day one. Every time you hear Black Lives Matter, now that organization, now it's like pinned to that organization instead of just being a real thing. It's now a hashtag, and
it's like they really matter. Black lives really matter.
Right. And it's like with Drake saying you only live once. It's things that we always said forever, turning it into YOLO. So now when you hear people say you only live once, they think, oh, you got that from Drake. No, it always was like that. Drake just made it a hot thing. And now remember when you used to say, man, America needs help. We got problems. And then what did the old Caucasian people used to say? Well, if you don't like this country, then go somewhere else. But then Trump came out and said, we need to make America great again. There's a lot of problems with this country. And now they're saying, yeah, that's right. But then we used to say it all the time. And I had to go back to another country, right? Or go to a different place, you know? So,
well, Aaron, this is what we always say here. A lot of us, at least I do, they only tell pretty much one group of people go back. Right. Everybody else, they have a problem. Oh, let's get some money together. Let's get a super PAC. Let's fight. Let's get the government together. But there's certain other group of people. Oh, you got a problem? Go back to Africa. Nobody says go back to Italy, go back to Ireland, go back to England. Wow. Nobody never says that, right?
Right. So exactly.
That's
our Brother fight. Clarence. Brother Clarence, did you just actually say that out loud?
I know I shouldn't have. But hey,
no, you're right though.
So that's our fight, brother. We're not against anyone else. We just want equality across the board. You know, we want like you come across and you go into the New York Harbor, and the lady has a light, and she got the blindfold. I don't know if she has a blindfold, but the justice. What's that justice thing where she has the scale and she has the blindfold?
Oh, you're talking about the scale. The scale.
The scale of justice, where the lady has a scale and she has a blindfold because she ain't supposed to It ain't supposed to matter who you are, right? Right. Yeah. She ain't supposed to see who it is. She's just supposed to hand out the justice by the measured weight of what they did, right? And so that's what we trying to get to, brother. That's all we trying to get to, man. So and I appreciate the fact that you out there and you was out there doing the same thing, and I can still see it's in your heart, even though you might not be in the quote unquote job, but just still in your heart. So I can appreciate that, brother. I can appreciate that. But let me ask you a question.
I really like your community activism. I love that you're still active in the community and bridging that and being that bridge for that gap, because we just don't see it every day. And I go to the community meetings and I tell my people all the time, I would love to see more of us out there. And that's a shame on us too, because we're not at these meetings. We're not at these community meetings, trying to find out what's happening in the community or going to the police officers and doing our part on how we can bridge the gap as well. So yeah, I lack seeing people that look like me there. Very, very rare.
Patrice, do you mind if me and Vaughn ask some questions?
Yeah, I just had two, and believe me, they're less than 2 minutes long.
All right.
I'm joking, Patrice. I know you're long-winded, but I'm long-winded too. So I can take a book from your page. No, well, here's one quick question I have. Okay, and brother, you said that brother Aaron, you said that you've been on the police force for like about 14 years per se, right? Mm-hmm. Now, in all of that time, have you ever experienced any discrimination?
That's a good question.
If you're allowed to say that, because I don't know, even if you quit it may still be a blue code or whatever. I don't know how that works. You see me, I'm in the witness protection program, so
yeah. No, it's no blue code at all, man.
Okay. That could be another question, but I would ask you that one first is, have you felt at any time that you as an employee experienced any type of discrimination?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of levels to it as well.
Wow. Okay.
And officers are doing it. There's officers there now that are experiencing it as we speak, and they are going to file lawsuits and they're going to do whatever they have to do. But I have, unfortunately, give you just some examples because they're in the unit that I worked in. I don't give a dang, and they know who they talk. If they, I don't know if they're going to ever see this, but if they do, who cares?
You can paraphrase. We don't want you to get in trouble, brother.
No, I ain't going to get in trouble now. There are guys in the unit that I worked in that have a certain status in supervisors' eyes that can do no wrong. So when they actually do wrong, do they get reprimanded in front of us? Like if I did wrong, everybody knows it. But if they did wrong, I never seen anybody really, really come down on them for not wearing their vest. But another person does it, and they're like, well, you're out of policy. Okay, so did they get the same a punishment as they did? Probably not. I'll give you an example for a personal one. I was getting too close to the community in Nickerson Gardens. I was playing ball. I was doing everything what the program was designed for, but I was getting too close. Found out that a kid at the age of 13 started following me on Facebook. Innocent kid, played ball. He grew up to 17, 18, was around the wrong crowd. Now he banging, but now he's still following me on Facebook. Guess what? Somebody came through, snitched on me, was like, so-and-so following Thompson on Facebook. Oh, really? So they started going into investigating that. Well, why is he following him on Facebook? You know what? Aaron's compromised. Probably we're going to start following him. Dude, there was people. I've heard from other officers that the department was following me, thinking I was from Bounty Hunters, Bloods in Nickerson Gardens. So then they started they really started treating me kind of wrong some of the supervisors, and being just punks, right? So now I got a reputation. Now people talking about me, right?
Within the force, right?
Right, within the force. And it's clicks within the force.
I hear you, brother.
There's clicks. It's no blue code. It's clicks. It's just like
any other place. We know that.
Yeah.
Now you need to expound on that, because a lot of people think it's just a code where everybody's a part of one code.
Nope.
All right, make it plain, brother. Make it plain.
Unfortunately, the brothers gravitate towards you. Brothers and sisters gravitate towards each other. Unfortunately, the Caucasians, some of them will gravitate towards each other, and then the Hispanics, they're kind of like in the middle, and it's different. Unfortunately, there are some Hispanics that thought one way and acted one way, and then when they got on the force, they kind of changed up. They started listening to rock and roll and heavy metal and country music more than they used to. They used to listen to they used to listen to Pac and Biggie all the time. Now they're wearing cowboy hats and cowboy boots a lot, or affliction shirts and stuff like that, and they're hanging out.
So they're leaning more toward another clique.
They're leaning more towards a certain group now. And it's like, and we still cool. We're still cool, but their posts are different now. The way they talk are different now. The concerts they go to are different now. And they don't realize that when push come to shove, and when it all goes down, they gonna be like, y'all not part of us. What the hell, y'all? I don't know what y'all thought. And so they have to be aware of that. Some of my friends, they have to be aware of that. And it's only a small percentage of Caucasians that are like this. The broader part is they're like us. They're like, like, I'm just trying to do my job and do it well. I don't have no clique. I don't belong to nobody. Like, I don't my thinking is not there, but it's just like a group of 10 to 20 in a station of 400 or 300 or 400 that will click up. You know what I'm saying? And they came at me. They not only did they move me out of Nickerson Gardens, they moved me to Jordan Downs. So if you think I'm affiliated with bounty hunters, why you gonna move me to their enemy?
Go ahead and get shot up over there.
Yeah. What you trying to do? Oh, you don't think that I'll do the same thing over there? And guess what? Same exact thing over there. They love me over there, and I have what they call a LTO, license to operate. I can go at all hoods in Watts and walk around freely, uniform or no uniform, and they don't touch me. I'll give you an example. I go into the gym. The fellas are hanging out in the community. They're hanging out playing a little ball. I start shooting a little bit. No, I go up to one of them. And I go to introduce myself. How you doing? My name is Aaron. He looked at me and was like, I don't mess with the police. And I'm like, hey, brother, I ain't trying to disrespect you. I'm just saying, nah, forget that, man. You're going to have to go on. So a couple of the dudes from the hood saw that. I was like, all right, hey, fellas, I'll catch y'all later. And I left. About 4 hours later, I come back. One of the dudes was like, hey, Thompson, hey, man, we saw what happened. Hey, that ain't gonna happen again. Just letting you know. And I was like, all right, cool. I didn't know I didn't know really what happened. Next time I saw that dude, hey, how you doing, Thompson? How you doing, man? Hey, I apologize for talking to you the other day. I didn't really know you, this and that. They checked him for me. And because they knew that I respected all of them, And I've had to tow a car. I've had to put one or two of them in cuffs one time because a melee happened or something like that. But because I do everything with respect, they respected me. And so some police, only some little bit of percentage of the station did not like that. They did not like that they liked me like that. They didn't like that because every time I didn't work, they was like, yo, where Thompson at? They didn't like that. And then I started doing comedy and it started getting out. And so this went to discrimination. So I go to Pasadena Ice House. I do a set. Now I started talking about me being a cop on stage a little bit after I started comedy.
I live in Pasadena.
And I was in Pasadena Ice House. But I would go to bar shows. I would do all kind of shows just to get my name out. Or just to get better. I was working hard. I started talking about being a cop on stage. First of all, that takes a lot of balls. Two, a lot of courage. And a lot of the rooms that I was doing predominantly black. So I'll be like, you know, I feel that tension. As soon as I say,
it takes a lot of courage, even on YouTube.
Yeah,
you know, we see some black officers, and
yeah, I was like, I'm a police officer. You feel the tension, so I was like, dang, I gotta get on their side. And this was happening. A lot of YouTube videos, police shooting unarmed black men. I was out, you know, and I was just like, and my next line was like, don't worry, I ain't gonna shoot nobody. So I hear little chuckles, and I'm like, nobody black. And then I hear like, oh, okay, laughing. And then my next line was I'm shooting every unarmed white person I see. Boom! Explosion throughout the room. Explosion. Everybody was like, yo, he did not just say that. And now everybody's on my side, right? And then I will go on to say, you know, I work in Watts. I pull over all the white people. I don't believe in interracial drug use, all kind of stuff. Because my parents were an interracial couple and they both were on drugs. So I would go all into that. And me being scared to get pulled over, it got on YouTube. It got on YouTube. Some officers that were in the gang unit at the time, that were other, not brother, like they were just they didn't like it. They, instead of them forming a complaint on me, they went to their supervisors. Then their supervisors went to IA. Now I had a group of people that were going hard against me. It got all the way up to the chief. They took me off of the streets for 5 months during this investigation because I said I worked in Watts, and I said I will shoot unarmed white people and I will pull over every white person I see. So now I'm under investigation because the fear was, well, if you do get in a shooting and if they are white, they're going to bring this up. If you do get, I'm like, but it's comedy though. And they didn't care. So they sat me, I was doing desk work for 5 months, 6 months, no public contact. The thing that happened with this though was I got better. I got better with my light just went out. Sorry guys. I got better with my craft. And I was able to now, because I had a regular 9 to 5, I was able to go every night and go do comedy. So I just got better and better and better and better. I took that part out. But anyway, It goes to say that they benched me for 6 months. I got 5-day suspension. Joe Bryant, who was a black police officer who got killed in a line of duty, they have a foundation under his name. And they came to me and was like, Aaron, what do you want to do? Do you want to fight this? What do you want to do? And I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to fight it because I'm not trying to go through all of that on top of this. I'm going to just keep on doing what I got to do and just move forward. And they were like, all right, cool. Just let us know or whatever. And I was like, all right. But after that, I felt, you know, one of my lieutenants who's retired now, she said, she told the supervisors, she said, y'all better stop messing with Aaron because he's going to be able to sue all of y'all if y'all keep messing with him. And then they started realizing that, man, Aaron, he don't lie. Like they thought I like faked an injury, or they thought I broke my ankle, but they thought I was going to claim it on duty. And I was like, no. When I was talking to IA, I was in this room. They said, so when did you claim this on duty injury? I said, it never was on duty. I did this at LA Fitness playing ball. They were like, oh, really? Yeah. Oh, they tried so hard to get me and all kind of stuff, and it didn't work. And so I did face discrimination. I've de-escalated situations with other officers and the people. I stepped in many times where I was just like, yo, let me talk to him, because y'all, it's a pissing contest with y'all two. He don't like you, you don't like him. Let me talk to him. And so I was able to do that. And there's a lot of officers who are able to talk to people that I worked with instead of others. And so it's a lot of it going on. It just needs to be broadcasted. It's not broadcasted enough because it's not sexy. You know what I'm saying? But it's going on.
It's not sexy, it's not popular, right? And it's not considered cool. But it's so needed in so many communities, especially our communities, because it's broken. It really is. And the trust is not there.
I know you know. No, you're right. I'm sorry to cut you off, but there was a second part. I don't know if I answered.
What?
Was there a second part that I did not answer? I don't.
Oh, no. You were very thorough.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you for giving us some answers. I think these are some solid things that, because I know when I go to the meetings, I try to go with an agenda. I have a list of things, and the biggest thing that I try to tell them is that the only time when we see police officers in the community is when you guys are being called, for something, not just to come and and to build a rapport, with the neighbors, especially like if you see, single women, for instance. I'll use single women. I say, you guys are not coming unless you called for something going on. If it's a domestic violence, or if it's a fight or some loitering or some whatever. I said, that's the only time you're called. You're not in the community being active, really trying to get to know the community and build the trust factor. I said, and maybe the community will feel a little bit more comfortable with, maybe talking up a little more, speaking up about things that they want to see change, because we know, how our snitching policy can be as well, because you tell, and I think a lot of that is on us too. That onus is on us and the responsibility, because a lot of times the people that's wreaking the havoc sometimes is your own family members, and nobody want to tell on they, family member, get them in trouble and get them put to jail. But if they're wreaking havoc in your community and really, doing some crazy outlandish things and committing all kinds of crimes, that, that onus has to be on us too, to do something about that.
Yeah, and there's a good thing going on in Watts, man. Like if you go to all the developments, and you'll see a lot of cops out of their car. You'll see a lot of cops parked there. They're there without. Because they're assigned to that unit in that program, and it's done wonders in that community. And then you get to the point where you have the community checking the youngsters. Like they'll really be like, yo, man, y'all in our situation. Y'all need to stop, y'all need to go park somewhere else. Y'all need, so in Watts, like it really, you really got a sense of the community working with the police department. And that's kudos to that unit that I was in, the community safety partnership, and the supervisors there now. They're really doing a good job. We always have a couple cases where things didn't happen the right way, or is a little tough, but all in all, like it's actually it's doing really well. Yeah. You got another question too, sir, didn't you? You were saying something.
Are there any questions in the chat? Is anyone asking any questions in the chat?
I got a question. I got a lot of questions for the brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So one of the questions I have for you, brother, is when you were on the force and you had issues where you saw a issue in the community, and you saw it wasn't being handled right, and like you said, you tried to step in there. Did you see if the community appreciated that and responded to you when you did stuff like that? You know, they oh man, Thompson, wow, man, yeah, thank you for stepping in there, because Jones was on one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Definitely that's happened a couple times where the community members was just like, hey man, the other night I saw you, man. You took care of the homie. We appreciate that. And then I'll be like, yeah, it could have gone south, but however, then I'll say, but the reason why it happened in the first place is because dude, like, he really could have just said okay, and I understand the frustration with people sometimes, but sometimes it's just be like, man, all right, let me just move this car, all right, let me stop doing what I'm doing. But the guys really do, and the females and the community really, they'll let you know when yo you did really good, man. I appreciate what you did. They'll let you know, just like they'll let you know when they don't like you or you did something wrong. They'll let you know when you were cool, or you handled the situation the way it should have been handled, or what we got a lot of me and some of the guys I worked with, and girls I worked with, what we got a lot was, we like how you handled that. Like, we like how y'all handle that. We got that a lot. So it's just about knowing how to de-escalate and usually it's about how you talk to people. I remember there was
that's like the number one.
Yeah, there was a call out. I worked in Harbor one time, and it was a backup. I'm working by myself. I get to the backup like after everybody was already out of the party. There was a party in the front yard going on, and all the people were facing the house. Some of them were in handcuffs. Some of them just had their hands behind their back. Officers were surrounding them. They had a team about to go into the house to look for this gun. Helicopter was overhead. Somebody had called and said there's gang members outside this house. They saw a gun. And so now it's basically somebody called the police on this group of people that were just partying and having a good time. They didn't find a gun, but how I approached it was there was a lady hollering like, this is fucked up, this BS, this and that. And then the officers, they was like, what is the problem? What is the problem? And officers were like, just hold on. Well, I remember in our mission statement, it said that we have to be transparent. Officers, the department itself have to be transparent. And I remember one of my DI, Stinson Brown, who's retired now, he was like, just like, talk to the people, just let them know what's going on. So I walked up, and this lady's just hollering, and I walked to the dude. I saw his demeanor. I said, dude's in charge. I said, he's in charge. And that's what's good about being observant about people too, of people. You're able to see, and growing up where I grew up, like, in certain hoods, you're able to see, all right, he the shot caller. All right, cool. So I go up to him and I walk up behind him. I'm like, yo, man, what's going on? He looked at me, was like, what's up, man? I said, and there was some chicken that was grilling on the grill that they left because of what's going on. And I said, man, who you let burn the chicken? And he looked at me. And like laughed. And he was like, what? I said, yeah, who you let burn the chicken? And he laughed. He's like, oh man, my uncle was on the grill. So I de-escalated him already. Now I needed to handle this woman. How was I gonna handle this woman? I said, hey, you know that young lady right there? She was a little older. I said, you know that young lady right there? He goes, yeah, that's my mom. I said, listen, she's only gonna make things worse for y'all. Can you do me a favor? Just have her calm down until they enter the house. I have a feeling they're not gonna find anything. Are they gonna find something? He's like, no, man, they're not gonna find nothing. I said, let them do what they gotta do. And then if you want to make a complaint, make a complaint. But just for now, can you calm her down for me? And he goes, yeah, I got you. He looks over. He's like, hey, Mom. She looks like, what? Hey, just let them do what they got to do. Just shut up. Let them do what they got to do. She's like, oh, fine. De-escalation. That's all it took. And I said, if you need everybody's info, get everybody's info. You can make a complaint. You can make a complaint at the end of the day. Just get through this and you can sue the whole department.
Wow.
That's how you handle people, man. That's how you talk to people.
Okay, I got a question, man. I got a procedural question for you, brother. Okay.
Oh, wow. See, I thought it was my turn, Brother Clarence. Go ahead now.
No, I'm like Patrice, man. I'm a Bogart your turn over you.
Hey, that's okay. You know, it's all right.
I don't look as good, but
from one old head to another. That's okay.
I'll still put the program. All right, so and I'll let you go, Vaughn. Okay, so in that particular situation, brother, because a lot of times we have an issue where somebody will say, I thought that these people had a weapon or something like that. Now, in the event of that, you know, and I mean, and you can answer as specific as you can, or if you can't be specific, I mean, you know, just a roundabout answer. When the police come and knock on your door and they say, hey, we're coming in to go and we're coming in to enter the house. Now I can understand them handcuffing people outside. They're already outside, but can they enter the property without permission in a situation like that?
No, okay. Well, in a situation like that, they can justify it. They could say that, you know, they saw somebody run in. They could say that the person who called can be like, yo, I saw somebody run in with the gun. They had this on, they had that on. Then they could, you know, somebody who, when the cops approach, if one person just goes into the house real fast, they're like, that's him. That's the one with the gun. Instead,
so that's the probable cause.
That could be justified.
Okay.
So that could be justified. And so but if a cop comes up to the property,
it's a word for it. I can't think of it right now though.
Exigent circumstances.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. If the cop comes up to the property and everybody stayed outside and everybody just be like, then it's like, yo, we need to come in and see if there's a gun in the house. Then it could be like, no. Get your supervisor, give me a warrant, because we just out here barbecuing. Ain't no gun here. And you're not stepping foot. I'm closing this gate and you can't come in this gate. So now if the officers disregard that and Bogart in, I would say let them and get your $1 million.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Don't fight them, because now you're not going to go to jail. Now you're going to go to jail for fighting the cops instead of
the actual charge, right?
The actual charge. And okay, let me get everybody's serial number. Let me get everybody's card. Give me and I'll be calling my lawyer, and I'm about to be a rich person. I just won a lotto. And nobody got shot, nobody got beat up. And that's what our brothers and sisters got to start doing, man. They got to know their rights. Yeah. Not you. I know my rights and fight them. No, know your rights and sue them. If your rights have really been if you've really been wronged, then do the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Get paid.
Right. Okay, so now I got a question.
Yeah.
Is it my turn yet, Brother Clarence?
Yeah, of course, okay.
Brother. So yes, Brother Aaron. Yeah. You know, in spite of this very dangerous job, and I have to commend you and give you all your props for, you know, putting your life in danger to protect the community. You know, that's something that I don't think should be taken lightly.
Shout out to
regardless to who does it. But thank you for all of those efforts and the willingness to put yourself in the front, you know, and when you didn't know what was going to happen. But my question is, what are some of the opportunities that you were blessed to have in this field of comedy? What were some of the most memorable or circumstances that you were able to be blessed to to be, connections or whatever it was.
Yeah.
In this field of comedy.
Yeah. Well, so I'll backtrack just a little. When I was benched, when I had no public contact, my friend Kevin Dunnigan, who's an actor, but he was a police officer, and he was an actor for 20 years as well. He's been in a lot of good things, even Godfather of Harlem and all that stuff. He retired a year ago, but a little over a year ago, I think. But he knows a lot of people, and he knew Chris Spencer. Now, Chris Spencer is a director, producer.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah, I'm familiar with him. Yeah.
Writer, yeah. And Chris Spencer had a room in Inglewood that was every Wednesday night. So my friend Kevin Dunnigan was like, "Hey, you know who Chris Spencer is?" I said, "Yeah, I know who Chris Spencer is." He goes,
right, exactly.
He goes, "That's my friend. I would love for you to meet him, because you're a funny dude and you just started comedy." And I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah. I would love for you." So he has a room. I'm gonna take you one night. So I'm like, "All right, cool." I go there one night on a Wednesday night. I meet Chris. Chris was like, "Yeah, I looked up your Instagram. You're pretty funny. You're pretty funny. Let check out the room, see if you like it." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I was there every Wednesday for like the next 4 weeks. And then Chris was just like, "Yo, man, you really want this, huh?" I was like, "Yeah, man." He goes, "You know what? I'm gonna put you up. I'm gonna put you up one day here." And I was like, "All right." So he had me do the cold opening. The cold opening, for those that don't know, that hear this, the cold opening is when the DJ be like, "Give it up for Aaron Thompson." I go up before Chris Spencer, who's hosting the whole thing, and is gonna bring up his celebrity friends. So now now I'm in a room in Inglewood. Inglewood, telling I get up on stage and I tell everybody I'm a police officer, and I do my set that I had at the time, and I just have one of the best sets I ever had.
Wow!
And I come off stage, and Lunel is standing in front of me, and I didn't even know she was there, and she's like, "Yo, come here." We go outside. She goes, you really a cop?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Where you work?" I'm like, "Watts." She goes, "Watts? You a cop in Watts?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "You motherfucking funny." She goes, I ain't never met a cop that made me laugh." She goes, "I'm doing the same thing that Robin Harris did to me. I don't go up to people. I don't go up to people and tell them they funny." She goes, "You funny. I want to work with you." So she gives me her card. I call. That was my first comedian celebrity I met, because I was only doing comedy at that point for 3 years, and that's rookie. And then so she was like, I call, leave a message, don't get a call back, but I hit her a DM a week later and was like, "Oh man, that video that you posted was hilarious," something like that. She DM'd me back like, "Why haven't you called me?" I was like, "I did call you." She was like, "Hold on." Next thing I know, the manager calls me. He's like, "Hey, my bad. I have a lot of calls that I have to make." He goes, his name is Bill. He goes, "Hey, Lunel wants you to come open up for her, or come do a show that she's doing in Ontario." So I go do a show, do like 8 minutes, kill. Then she was like, "Hey, I want you to come back another week. I'm doing a show in Brea." I'm like, "All right, cool." I go to Brea, kill. She goes, "You know what? If you can make it out to these dates, this is before the pandemic. If you can make it out to these dates, I want you to, if you could pay for your way and your flight and your hotel." She goes, "I want you to come open for me if you can get off of work."
Wow.
I was like, "All right, cool." I went. I did a couple dates, killed. Then she had Jimmy Kimmel residency in Vegas.
Wow.
And she was like,
awesome.
"Hey," she goes, "I have a feature, but she's not going to make everything every night. I want you to meet the executives here and just say that, hey," and so, because you're going to do 2 nights that she's not here out of the next 8 weeks. And I'm like, "All right, cool." I go there, meet them. Something happens with her feature. I can't talk about, but something happens with the feature where she can't work for her anymore. And I get a call. I'm loading up my car at work on Tuesday morning, and I get a call from Caesar Palace director of entertainment talking about I'm gonna feature. Do I want to feature for Lunel for the next 8 weeks in Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club? And I was like, yeah. So every Sunday night I was out there like clockwork. Whether I drove or flew, I was out there like clockwork. And then and at the same time still grinding on my side at these little bar shows that I'm trying to get better at, or these shows that people are putting me on. And then the pandemic happened, and then a year and a half later, she's like, Aaron, we're about to go back out again. You want to go? I was like, yeah. So I ended up being her feature for her alone. That was last year in May. Now this is only like year 5.5 for me doing comedy. And then she was like, and then 3 months later, August come around. I'm going to work. She goes, Aaron, pull over. I'm like, I can't. I'm late for work already. She goes, hey, I just got off the phone. This is not my doing. This is not me. I have nothing to do with this. But Cat Williams wants you to open up his show this weekend.
Wow.
His tour.
Wow.
And I was like, what? She was like, yeah. I was like, Cat Williams. She said, yeah, Aaron, I didn't ask him. This is all him. And I was like, for real? She's like, yeah. So I made some changes. I went and I opened up for him that weekend. And then he was like, he wanted me to open up the whole tour every weekend. And I was like, damn, I don't know what I'm gonna do about work, but I had just blew my back out. Okay. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go out on sick because I can't work like on my back, but I could do comedy. That's easy.
There you go.
I could just stand there and do comedy. And so I was doing that, but I was trying to get a leave of absence as well. And so I met Cat Williams, and Cat Williams, I was on stage every weekend for 9.5 months, opening up. I was the first comic. Then Jen Thomas, that's making a name for herself, and been doing 2 other tours with Cat. Then Red Grant. Then
know him.
Zooman Miller, 30 years in the game. Then Mark Curry. Then Lunel, and then Cat. Yep. And I'm out there learning and just absorbing everything. Like
heavy hitters, man.
This is crazy.
Exactly.
Then I go with Lunel to a couple shows that she was doing for Dave Chappelle. Meet Dave. Dave ends up talking to me and was like, yo, I need to see your set. He hasn't seen it yet, but he's like, yo, I need to see your set. So that's just like within the last year that happened.
Wow.
Me going on the road with Lunel constantly, then Cat Williams, and now Dave knows who I am. And I'm just like, this is freaking crazy.
That is something else.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
And these are people who don't really like the police, you know?
Wow.
But they understand, like, yo, this dude has a story. He's actually doing, and it's funny because now a lot of cops or retired police officers come up to me after Lunel's show and Cat Williams' show, and it's like, yo, I'm a police out here, or I'm a police here, or I'm a retired. And they come out. Usually they don't let people know, but now they're like, man, this guy really, you know, he gets it. He's doing his thing. And then people are coming to me talking about, man, I wanted to be a cop, but I got a felony. So now I got people coming up to me saying that I'm relatable, and they're not even a cop.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing.
That's what touches me more than anything, you know.
And you know, like they say, your gift, man. It's a gift, you know. I didn't get to see a lot of your stand-up but from what I've already seen, you look very natural in that setting. And so, you know, usually when people, and I'm sure that's not an easy thing to do, you know, to get up in front of people and be funny. You know, sometimes I could imagine that could be very challenging, you know, but I believe that your gift will make room for you, brother. And that's exactly what it's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
And
you.
long as you stay true to it, man, I think you're going to go far. Hey, my prayers and blessings are with you, man. I hope that I hope much success for you.
Thank you.
Man,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question, Alphonse?
Of course you can. I wasn't long-winded, sir. Now, you know I was.
All right, bro. All right, brother Aaron, let me ask you this, man. I want to ask you the wingnut question. What exactly made you decide, you know what, I'm arresting bad guys, let me go into comedy? Like what made you make that? How did you connect those two things?
Right. For some reason, I've always been, since I was a kid, I've always been, and not for some reason, I think I know why. Because of like the craziness that my life I was going through as a kid, I always found that laughing was my therapy. So I started watching stand-up comedy from Eddie Murphy, Delirious and Raw, to growing up and seeing Robin Harris, and growing up and seeing specials with Tommy Davidson, Illin and Philly, Jamie. As I got older, now it was Jamie Foxx, and then it was Chris Tucker, and then it was, you know, it just kept going and kept going. But I started studying comedy without me knowing. And me, I was always the goofball in my group. I was always the guy who made everybody laugh, and like I love making people laugh. And I fell in love with comedy without me knowing that I was going to be a stand-up comedian. And then, you know, I wanted to entertain and I wanted to act. So I was doing that during college a little bit here and there. But then I became a police officer, and I just stopped. But I was always me. I was always still making people laugh. I was always just that. But then I was sitting on the couch one day, you know, wife, kids, but I was just like, yo, there's something that I'm not doing. There's something that I'm not doing. And I don't know. I was just like, stand-up comedy. I said, let me try it. Like, let me just try it. Let me see if I will like it. You know, I love making people laugh. Let me just try it. I looked up a class. I took a class so I can know how to take my thoughts and turn them into a joke. But they were really my stories, and make it funny. And so
Right.
once I took that class, and a few weeks into that, I just was like, all right, let me try some open mics. And I wasn't gonna talk about police at all. Like, that was not. I was just gonna do, because I didn't know if I could or not. I was just gonna do humor pertaining to my life and all that stuff. And I was in class, and the teacher I had, he stops the comedians while they're doing their bit, and he'll ask them questions to kind of lead them in the right direction.
Wow.
And
okay.
so I was doing a bit about going to the gym. And I always watched guys try to get at girls at the gym, and that was you know, men went to the gym because it was a oasis in their mind. They're like, yo, I could get at girls here, this and that, right? So I was talking about that, and I said, police, no. I said, and I go to the gym to work out because I have to stay fit for my job. And I kept on, and I was just gonna move on, but he stopped me. He was like, wait, hold on. Why do you go? He knew, but he was just trying to guide me. He said, why do you work out for my job? He goes, okay, what do you do? I said, I'm a police officer. And he goes, okay. He goes, tell me the craziest thing you ever seen as a cop. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, actually, I remember a radio call we had. He goes, well, what happened? I said, well, it was a suicide. Dude killed himself. And she goes, okay, so what happened? So I said, well, I get there, and the dude was in the bathroom, sitting in the bathroom, and he had taken his gun and he shot himself in the head.
Holy smokes.
And the gun was underneath him, and like you could see brain matter was on the floor over there.
Yikes.
In the bathroom.
Wow.
And he goes, really? I go, yeah. He goes, that's crazy. He goes, what did you do? I said, well, honestly, I took my phone and took a picture.
Oh, wow.
And he starts busting up laughing.
Nice.
He's laughing so hard, and he's like, that's what people want to hear. He goes, people want to hear what's real, what is real to you. He goes, that's what and so that was the first bit I wrote was about a suicide, and I made it funny. I started talking about it on stage, and I made it funny. I even said to the people, like, I know y'all thinking, how you gonna make this funny? And I did. And then that's when somebody was like, yo, if you could make a suicide joke funny, yo, you got something. And so I just started talking about my job, and I started bringing that into it. And then I just started incorporating everything else as well, like my family, friends, all that kind of stuff. And just trying. And that's how I got into comedy.
That's awesome, man. That is
Aaron, I want to
really awesome.
apologize. It's storming out here where I am, so my internet has been going in and out, so that's why I've been dropping off and coming back on. So my apologies, but I got you on the TV. It's actually working, but I just wanted to say something before like my internet went crazy. But thank you so much, and I guess I would ask you, because I heard you talk about the opportunities and how they came about. You get to open up for Lunel and Kat and so forth.
And now Chris Spencer, and Chris Spencer. And it's funny because I even had to like turn down a couple gigs with Chris and Flex Alexander because of Kat and Lunel. But those opportunities are there.
A lot of people don't know he a hell of a writer / producer of comedy, like all of the sitcoms and people he have wrote for. Like Chris Bad.
He created Real Husbands of Hollywood and I was able to open up for him a month ago in San Diego, and him and I are actually friends. We developed a friendship, and so it's pretty cool.
Have you been able to do any of the clubs out here, like comedy clubs in LA? Fat Tuesdays or whatever.
So I've done Crack 'em Up Thursdays.
Okay.
I've done a couple of those, and I did Chocolate Sundays once. There's like a process with Chocolate Sundays. It's kind of weird how they do it, but like you have to like do 3 minutes, and then you graduate to 5, and then but it's time
consuming.
Oh wow!
Right, and it's a process, and you gotta, and it's basically like, especially it's like who you know. But so I've done what I've done without spending a lot of time in LA, and that's kind of a blessing too, because I don't kiss ass. I don't like kissing ass, and I never did as a cop to power.
And you don't have to. You don't have to bow. You don't have to bow. You don't have to kiss, man. Nope. Like I said, your gift will make room for you.
Yeah.
If it's for you, then it's for you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got a question there, and
what? And let us know how much time you got too, Aaron. How much time you got left?
Yeah. I got maybe about 20 more minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, what was it that made you decide, hey, man, now it's time to cut off the police officer gig and do the comedy full time? What was it that made you make that decision?
The one was me being, so 3 things. So the first thing, Kat wanted me to open up every weekend for him on the tour.
Holy smokes. Okay.
Yeah. So that was one. Then the second thing that started, the second thing that came to my mind, or the second thing that gave me the courage to do it was my wife saying whatever I wanted to do, go for it.
Man, shout out to her. Shout out to her for that, man.
Yeah, I love that.
Love that. Spousal support. I love
support.
Shout out
to her. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now remember now when I first started comedy, because I was doing personal training, I was doing all kind of stuff. When I started doing comedy, she was like, here we go with something else. But then she saw me and she was like, you're actually good. So that helped, and And so she knew she took care of the home.
Gave the sample approval, right? Yeah,
right.
you actually good.
Yeah,
okay.
she took care of home. So she didn't have a traditional job that was bringing in income. So I was the only one bringing in the income. Not to say that she can't, because she's a great photographer. She can put on events if she has to, but she took care of the house. We got 3 kids, and they needed help with school and this and that. And I'm being a police officer and doing comedy, so I wasn't at home a lot. And so that was 2, was the support I have. Then number 3 was when I asked for the time off I needed. And I don't and you guys, do you know who Tabitha Brown is? Okay, so
who's that?
The vegan queen, basically.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah, she's in Target. She has a line.
Yeah, she has stuff in Target.
She has a TV. She's
doing a good show. She's doing great. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
She's doing great.
Yeah,
her husband is Chance Brown. Her husband is Chance Brown, who's an ex LAPD police officer who we're friends, that we played on the team together, all of that. And he left. And he was just like, yo, Aaron, you're not taking a leave of absence. You're taking a leap of faith. And so I was trying to take a leave of absence like he did. He took a leave of absence for a year. And then when they were able to finally retire him, he did. Now I just was trying to take a leave of absence. And because my captain didn't really like what I was doing and wasn't really fond of me, he had the powers to be to deny it. My leave of absence, and I asked for a leave of absence without pay. So yeah. So when he denied it in December, and we were on hiatus for Cat Williams tour, and I wasn't making my sick time stopped. My money stopped coming in for sick time. So I'm like really like at a I don't know what to do. Wow. And I talked to my wife, and she was just like, well, if they denying you, do what you feel you got to do. And I was like, yeah, I'm a quit. I'm a quit, man. I said, this is a sign that I should just bounce, because them not supporting me, this ain't cool. So, I said, you know what, I'm done. So those 3 things right there.
After 14 years of service, and for him to deny you wanting to take a leave of absence without pay, yeah, that was some straight up hating. He was,
Yep. And now it's like, they thought I wouldn't have left. I know they thought I wouldn't have left, because a lot of officers are scared to. A lot of officers hit me up. It was like, yo, you did something we all been thinking about doing. There's officers that are leaving the department now and going to another department just because they don't like their supervisor, or they don't like the way things are going out here in LA as a police officer, because some of them aren't being backed by the powers that be. And so, officers are kind of tired of it. And I was like, yo, I'm taking a stand, and I'm out. Yeah, I might not be making as much money, but you know what? I'm spending a lot of time with my family now. Ain't no question about it.
That's awesome,
a lot of time.
And it's gonna pay off in the end. I mean, because the resume that you're building up now,
that's right,
for the people opening up for is astronomical. And to get it, as lucky and happenstance as you did, man, it's nothing but it's nothing but nowhere else for you to go but up, right?
Yeah.
Well, I feel honored. I feel honored to be on the panel with this brother tonight. This up and coming young comedian.
And I love it.
Once was a LAPD officer and turned comedian, and his gift is making room for him. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for what God has in store for you, young man. I'm serious,
Man,
and I know it's great things, man. Just keep your head on straight. Be that good husband, be that good father, and your blessings are just gonna come just like clockwork,
Thank you, man.
Just do it, man. Yes, sir.
I love the fact that you took a chance on you. You took a chance on you and your dream. And there's so many people are so afraid to do that, and they don't understand people that are in any form of the arts and entertainment, the sacrifices that be made, the the support system that you have to have behind you for that. So like I said, I commend your wife, because listen, a lot of spouses gonna be like, nah, monkey your dream. We need to live. We need to make money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I need to, I'm used to this household running with a certain amount of money, so to take that sacrifice that you did, that says a lot. And sometimes we have to step back in order for God to move us up. So that's what I'm happy for you, that you actually did it, because it's so many people that have been afraid to do just that. It's
tough.
outside that box, and like you said, go for it and risk it all, and you did.
Yeah.
All right, young man. We have had you here for 2 hours and 19 minutes. I know you got your family out there, man. So we would appreciate it, man, if you would just give us some encouraging words, man, because we got a lot of people out here that would like to have the courage to do what you did, and maybe you could say something that'll give them that courage to push forward, man, and try to, because a lot of people watch on the replay too, and so man, they just see somebody who is following their dream, man. You know what I mean? That's what America's all about, right? Follow your dream, right? So, man, you could take the next couple of minutes, man, to just give us some closing remarks and some inspirational words, and then we'll let you get with your family, brother.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on. First and foremost,
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, and being able to now even and hope meet great people like yourselves, and now we're gonna build a relationship and definitely collab on so many levels. But if anybody's listening that's wondering if they should go ahead and take that leap of faith, one, preparation mixed with luck is a positive outcome. You have to prepare. One, you got to have a plan. I have a plan. I had a plan from the jump when I started this, because I knew that I was good at it, and I was going to use it for good. I wasn't going to use it to become rich. I wasn't going to use it for fame. I actually really just wanted to put joy in people's lives, and so get a plan, and then you could, whatever that plan is, yes, you can make money from it, and make sure that you you have as much support as you can get. If you have haters, then let that fuel you. If you have doubts, that's normal, but just believe in yourself and invest in yourself, because what I learned is when you invest in yourself and believe in yourself, nobody's going to get in your way. Nobody can get in your way. So trust the process. It's not an overnight thing. Be patient.
Right.
Be patient and just keep grinding. Put your head down and grind. That's the one thing that I did. I have some comedy friends that talked to each other, amongst each other, and they came back to me and was like, yo, Aaron, we were saying when you were starting, that how does Aaron have a full-time job, getting overtime, full-time family, wife, kids, all that stuff, but he's working harder than us at this craft, and we don't have that kind of job. We don't have that kind of life. So you got to work hard. You got to put your head down, work hard. I wasn't out there getting drunk at the clubs, even though we was getting free drinks. I wasn't out there smoking weed and trying to be all up in the mix. I really was focused on what I got to do to get better. So get better at your craft, work hard, be humble, and have that faith,
So tell us what's next for you. What's coming up? What can we expect from you? And then you can also
his YouTube page. I know I posted it in the chat.
Give out all of your social media, and you can tell people to follow you and support you. I follow you already. I'm all in your business on IGs.
So I appreciate you for that. So I'm on Instagram under my tag. My handle is @real Aaron Thompson. That is not the real. It's just @real AARON Thompson. You can also find me on TikTok. I had one account that said @real Aaron Thompson, but that that's not mine anymore, just because I had an old phone. I can't get back in it. So I'm trying to revamp the new one. So that's at real Aaron Thompson, the number 22. And then on Facebook, I think you can find me at real Aaron Thompson as well. I think I'll pop up. I think the picture is me. It used to be me and the kids. I think it's just me, or it might still be the kids. I'm not sure, but just at real Aaron Thompson with there. And the YouTube that you brought up, the YouTube channel, I need to start posting more on that. I will.
Yeah.
I will. Oh, and if you saw my last post, my son, 10 years old, did his first stand-up. And I got a couple. Yeah, I got a couple snippets of him on there too. I posted it in like 24 minutes. It got like freaking like 5,000 views or something like that, man. And so he's, he's funnier than me. And so he's the funniest person I know, like hands down. I'm on tour with Lunel, so you could go on her page. Until further notice, I'm still on tour with her. And check me out. I will be starting. You might see me on some cruises, because now I'm starting to go into the cruise game a little bit, and get on some of these cruises so I can go on this water. And that was one of my goals. One of my goals was to travel to do comedy, and I started doing that with Lunel. Then the next goal was I visualize myself doing an arena, and because of Cat, that's all he does is arenas, and I was able to do arenas. And one of my goals when I first started this was to do carnivals for cruise ships. For some reason, I just felt like I thought that was I was intrigued by that. So that's gonna start soon too. And then I'm grinding on the back end, trying to get in some of these TV shows and films. So look out for me to do more of that. And that's I also want to get into that as well. I got to sharpen that tool of acting and doing that. So
yeah, because we see a lot of comedians. They are on these TV sitcoms. They making appearances and cameo appearances and guest appearances. And what about what's in the makes, or do you plan on or have in hopes to have be on like one of the big comedy shows, like on like a Netflix or Showtime, like anybody that'll give you that opportunity to come on like on a grander scale like that?
Yeah, well, I'm writing my pilot right now. I'm like writing a sitcom. I want to have my goal growing up, even before comedy. For some reason, I always wanted my own sitcom. When I say growing up, I meant like teenager and up. But for some reason, I always wanted my own sitcom. So I'm writing that right now. And then also I would love to do a couple movies. Not just a couple, but eventually be known as an actor as well. And so that's one of my goals too. And Chris Spencer even had me read for one of the parts in The Real Husbands of Hollywood as a character. But the producers, I was supposed to be the lawyer on that show of Kevin Hart's lawyer. She's a light-skinned
the lady.
Right, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
She I was like, it was for her boyfriend, but the producers were like, he looks too much like he would be her brother, so it didn't work out. Yeah, you got to have that contrast. Wow. You got to have a contrast. You'd be like, he kissing his sister.
That's the first time I saw that light skin didn't work out.
Yeah,
light skin works out, man.
Didn't work out, man. Didn't work out. And so
it might work out. You never know. It may be another opportunity or role still on there or somewhere else there. If it's for you, you know how this game is. I've been in entertainment for over 20-some years. I actually sing and I do musical stage plays. So I like acting and singing, but it's what they looking for at the time, whatever.
And,
how I go.
Quick, when it comes to your activism and stuff like that, and those platforms and all those things, that you guys do. If you guys are holding, you know, like conferences, or if you want to start wanting to try that days of dialogue or something like that, you know, maybe we could do something and get some sponsorships to sponsor those kind of things. Wow. And pay for those kind of things, so we could, you know, start doing it in your communities. Because I feel like someone like me, being an ex-officer, the guys that don't really listen to police will listen, and then police officers will listen, because I was a police officer as well. So getting into some of these rooms and getting these communities and police to start to work together and get these youngsters some help, man, and stop trying to kill each other and stuff.
Well, I will definitely keep you in mind, and I will stay in touch. And if you ever in my city, just hit me up.
Yeah, I will.
You know, if I come to Cali, I'll hit you up. See if you're doing anything out there or whatever. And I go to Vegas all the time too. I used to live out there actually for 15 years now. Does Lunel did she get a residency at Kimmel's?
She did, but you know, they shut it down for a while because of the pandemic. But I think they're gonna start back up again. I'm not sure what they're in the talk. I'll always find out everything like at the last minute. So they'll be like, yeah, next week we're going to Kimmel's. Like, I'm like, oh shit.
Okay, so if she does, will you be her opening act out there as well?
I have no idea. No idea. I would like to.
Yeah, you got my information. I got yours. Just hit me up. Let me know if you in any of those areas. If I'm ever coming to Cali or Vegas or whatever, you know, I'll let you know. But I know we are in the next 3 to 6 months. Is they trying to come together with some big activism, community, something going on. So I'll see where you at with your schedule or something, and may reach out to some of the people I work with in the community to see if maybe we can get you as a guest speaker or something on the panel or something. Okay. I would love that. So thank you for even saying that. I would love that.
Definitely.
And thank you for hanging out with us, man. You're so dope, and we appreciate it. You hung out with us for 2.5 hours.
Yes,
man,
sir. Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Patrice,
awesome,
calm down, Patrice. Calm down, Patrice. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do, brother. And I hope that you will come back and visit us. You know, as your career grows and grows and grows like a beanstalk, man, it grows out of past the clouds, brother. We wish that for you, brother. So and I see that you're the type of brother that you gonna stick, man. You ain't in it for just a minute, man. You in it for the long haul, man. And so we wish you and your family nothing but the best, brother, like Vaughn said. And we appreciate you coming out hanging out with us. The only thing I'm asking is that you check back in with us, brother. And
definitely, no doubt.
And the last thing I'm gonna say is, see you at Hawkins.
All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate y'all.
I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I'll definitely stay in touch. Please do so as well. And we will make sure you guys go out there and follow Aaron Thompson on all his social media handles and platforms. Support this brother. He is doing great things, not only in his career, but as he's making it a part of a community while he's building his career up. So support this brother. We need more brothers like him out in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right. I had to pull him down, man, because Patrice will keep talking and talking and talking. And he'll never gonna go nowhere. The brother's wife is gonna get mad at him, and then Patrice will blame us, me and you, Vaughn. She won't say nothing.
Wow.
She'll blame us.
Hey, bro, why you hating on me?
Man. Oh man, you know what? Actually, Patrice did good. You did good.
You did good. Yeah, she did really. Patrice,
good,
excellent,
he was a great,
excellent.
Man, he was an absolutely outstanding.
Man,
very good interview.
Yeah,
really I wanted to ask some other deeper questions, but I just didn't want to take it too deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for the purpose of us speaking to him and him sharing, man, you know, it was great. You know, it was really good, really good.
It was. I'm glad it's good to see that other side of a police officer and policing, and the ideas from the spectrum of a community. You know what I mean? To know that this brother's out there on, you know, boots on the ground, 10 toes down with it. Like, I love that. Like, bringing laughter to the community, bringing like saying that type of policing you don't see too much no more in our community, where they actually are talking to people like they human beings instead of talking to them and treating them like they less than human. You know, you just don't see too much of that in our community no more, because for the most part, a lot of us that's, you know, in our community, a lot of people that police our community don't look like us, for one.
Right.
You know, and it's other factors too that factors in there. But I'm glad this brother is getting some good results out in the community that he's serving. So
yeah, good dude, man, good dude. Seemed like a really good dude. Really got his young man. Really got his head on his shoulders, right? So shout out to him.
So whenever he's in y'all town and y'all see him, you know, doing his comedy thing, y'all go out and support him and introduce yourselves, and you'd be surprised. You know, make him remember. Make him remember where he the platform that you talk to him on. This brother about to blow up, and we get to say we knew him when, right?
Yeah, man. Good for him, man. He's a solid cat. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap this thing up. We already got 2 hours.
I'm on a live.
we already at 2.5 hours.
Tell my son he's just God.
Your son.
Yeah, my son is a mess, man. He's something else.
Man, that's why I got 3 of them, man. You know what I'm saying? If you need somebody to eat all your food and not take the trash out, I can switch with you, brother. Anytime you're ready.
Exactly,
you're ready,
right.
Yeah. One of my bought. I'm lucky. I got the oldest one. The oldest boy I got out of the house, man. Oldest boy. He said the apartment across the street is open. Dad, I just need $3,000. $3,000. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah.
They don't know till they know.
Thank you guys for holding it down for me while I was having technical difficulties with this internet. I didn't even know in certain areas out here is storming. So it's been like thunder and lightning. So it's kind of, you know, so I'm getting kind of that. So the internet was like really, I don't know if it's the internet, my phone or whatever, but it was acting up. But thank y'all for holding it down and asking the questions that you guys did. You guys had some great questions as well too. And I don't know if the chat ever had any or if you ever brought any up, but thank you, chat, for hanging in there with us and having listening to the conversation and hearing Brother Aaron Thompson talk about his experience with being a former police officer as well as now being a comedian. So thank you guys. We love the chat. The chat is what's up.
Man. The chat is tough, man. Nobody mess with them. They won't even come over here and play games with them because they got their reputation. Risa, man, they know, man. She got a 6-shooter on both hips. They know already. She got a wrench on both hips. Then you
chat
going
is serious,
down.
very
you
serious.
Even start talking crazy, you going down. But you know, we Team Patrice over here, man. So we got your back on everything, sis. We got your back. Okay, let's
great questions. Y'all answer some questions, you know, especially you and Vaughn. So I'm glad because I didn't get to, you know, answer them because I kept going in and out and I was like, oh, good. They asking, you know, some really good, serious, juicy questions. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys for holding it down.
I had a few questions, you know, it was cool.
Sorry, y'all.
Glad that I could be a part of it.
You know, hopefully we can get them back, you know, because once you know how it is, once they get that big following and start to grow and get big, you know, get harder and harder to get them in to come interviews. So hopefully we can get them come back.
So he texted me, Patrice, so he messed up. I'm gonna stay in touch with him.
That's what's up.
I would say, hey, I'm a young man. How you doing? Hope everything's great. Okay, so we got to wrap it up, y'all. So what's some closing remarks? Did you get your closing remarks, Patrice? Or you want to give some?
Again, thank you, Aaron Thompson. We appreciate your service. All you did when you served as a police officer, you were definitely one of those good ones that I would have definitely have uphold and have respect for. And I just appreciate the type of brother that he is and how he's giving back to the community, how he did it then and how he's continuing to do it. And thank you, Brother Clarence, for, you know, allowing, you know, me, of course, to be your partner on this platform and doing these type of interviews. I would like to do plenty more of them. And thank you, Brother Vaughn, for bringing those real intellectual questions to the conversation. I appreciate the chat support. And yeah, it's just good and refreshing to see this other side of police talk where it's not so combative and there's no disrespect and there's no, you know, degrading about an opinion, whether we agree or not. I just, it was refreshing to see that. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, sis. Do we need to talk, or are you gonna just go head on in, or what?
We all good. I'm about to go on here and finish off my little glass of wine and chill for the rest of the night and get ready for my day tomorrow.
All right, girl. All right, I'll holler at you tomorrow. All right.
All right. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. Salute.
All right. You
All
too,
right,
sis.
salute.
Savon, have you ever seen Patrice act like that before? We got to get that brother back over here, man, because I ain't never seen Patrice walk around like she 16
I thought she
years
did a
old,
great job.
girl.
She did a great job.
She actually did. She did a tremendous job. Shout out to Patrice. She did a tremendous job booking the guy and then getting him here and then asking him the questions she asked him. Actually treated him just like like he's supposed to treat a guest, man. Really nice, really sweet. Patrice is real sweet, man. She talk tough. She like Rico, man. She talk tough, but real sweet.
Oh yeah,
real sweet.
Gotta love
real
Patrice, you know.
Yeah,
She's very honest and forthcoming with her opinions, you know. Yeah, so I always respect a person like that, you know.
But Vaughn, she's like Tupac, man. She ain't no killer, but don't push her. Don't
push
her.
Know, that's that Chicago spirit, you know. It's like if you push them too far, you know, you're gonna get a little taste of Chicago.
Yeah,
you
man.
know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I seen some people on the other end of Patrice, man. On the business end of Patrice, man. It ain't going good for them. Oh, shout out to Patrice. All right, Brother Vaughn. What do you think, man? What's your closing remarks, brother?
Well, wow. I mean, you know, to go from a man, a job that's so dangerous and just so inherent with all kinds of stuff that you can come in contact with, you know, man, to go from that to being a comedian. I mean, how likely is that? You know what I'm saying? So that that was so cool to see that type of transition like that from one job to a comedic aspect of it, you know. And apparently the brother is good at what he does because listen, look, he's got connects, he's opportunities, doors are being opened to this brother, you know. You know, we're just seeing him in the beginning and the first happenings of his career as a comedian, but I believe that this brother is going to go very far, you know. And you know, everything that he spoke about was very honest, you know. It was very down to earth, you know. He didn't say a lot of disparaging things about you know, the police force, you know, or the academy or whatever it is. And you know, he spoke of some of his situations, but you know, he didn't really harp on a negative aspect of it. He spoke from his experiences. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool, man. I mean, overall, it was a very great interview, you know. Thank you for even allowing me to be a part of it.
Oh man, come on, stop it, man.
No, honestly, really. Come on, man. I don't get this chance often, brother. I don't get this chance often.
oh, I know. You want to be on. Whoa, everybody screaming at each other, right?
Yeah, exactly. See?
I love black people.
Yeah. Everybody fighting with each other, right?
Man, bro.
But man, I look forward to many more interviews just like this one. You know, where you can get people who have, you know, that are a part of, you know, bettering our community, you know, and that's always a good thing, you know.
Definitely, man. And Patrice is working on a couple of different things. Rico's working on a couple of different things. So we got a couple of different things in the works. So hopefully it'll all pan out. So y'all should see something real soon. All right, Brother Vaughn. If that's your last word, I'm gonna bring you down, brother.
That's it for me, sir. God bless, and I'll see you on the next round.
Thank you for coming up. Appreciate you as always, brother. As always. Peace to you. All right. That was our brother Vaughn. What y'all think? What y'all think about Patrice? What y'all think about Aaron Thompson? Aaron Thompson. Well, let's go down the line first. Let's go. Let me tell. Once again, the chat. You guys in the chat. I think Vaughn's always putting out that information out there, but I don't. I don't want Vaughn here to work. I want Vaughn here to give out some of his gems, some of the jewels that he drops on everybody. But I appreciate what he does do when he does put that information out there. I appreciate you, Vaughn. We all do. And everybody else. I think I shouted out everybody except Quantum. Quantum is another one. Quantum is another one that's here that will quick on the hip with that wrench. Yeah. You guys in the chat, your reputation precedes yourself. I mean, man, that's why the knuckleheads stop coming over here. They just they ain't gonna get. They know they ain't gonna get no run. It's not gonna be no free reign where they're gonna be able to, act a fool. They already know that, so that's why they ain't coming over here. You see, that's why we got we are limited a certain amount of people. We got some people that's gonna act a fool like Rico. Okay, but Rico's on the stage, right? Rico's on the home team, so of course we're gonna allow him some liberties, but we're not gonna let nobody else come over here and mess with the home team. Not at all. Not at all. Not with no. They're gonna mess with the chat. They're gonna mess with nobody on the stage. We are all a team. We in this together. I mean, we the ones up here running the platform. You guys are running the chat, and we working together, man. We make a great show. This is a great show, man. We should have 10,000 people in here watching this young brother, man. Really showing people how to do what all of us would like to do. Find a career that we love and we inspired to be involved in, and then get in and just leap from one career to the other career. That's what all of us would like to do, right? Find something that we would be so passionate about, we could leap to that career, right? But we got a young brother that did it, and so shout out to him. And he had a promising career with the LAPD, but he said, "No, you know what? He was helping the community one way. Now he's helping the community in another way by showing them that every police ain't crazy and off the chain, and all the police ain't like that, man. You got some police that's out here, man, they just trying to respect the community, right? But we don't hear about those police officers, right? Well, the ones we're gonna see on the news. We're gonna see the police officers on the news that's doing some outlandish, right? Something crazy, right? Because police officers are like fathers, right? You ain't gonna hear about nobody's father unless they do something crazy. But fathers are supposed to take care of business. So when you take care of business, nobody says nothing because that's what you're supposed to do. Ain't nobody gonna bring you no trouble. Hey, I just turned the lights on. Thanks, Dad. No, it doesn't happen that way. Fatherhood is not that kind of business, man. If you're in the business for likes and appreciation, fatherhood, no, you get it. Let me tell you how you will get appreciated when you're a father. When you go into the bedroom, at night, when you secure your home and you go into your bedrooms and you check for your children and your children are all in their beds, now that's God's telling you thank you. All your children are in their beds sleeping. They're healthy, they're sleeping. That's a thank you. You don't really get verbal thank yous. Not in the fatherhood business. I suppose probably not in the police business either, but definitely not in the fatherhood business. But anyway, what do y'all think about the young brother? The young brother came up, young brother Aaron came up, and shout out to him. His wife was like, "Hey, shoot, I'm with you, baby. If you want to do this, I'm with you. Go handle your business." He said, "I'm gonna go handle my business. They trying to play games with me down here at the city. I'm gonna go handle my business." Okay, so he went to go handle his business. His wife said, "Okay," right? What else is gonna happen? What else was he supposed to do? They didn't want to pay him no more. What else is he supposed to do? Shout out to that young brother, man. Shout out to that young brother, man. Just a good dude, man. Seemed like a good dude. Okay. We had Brother Aaron on the platform. What did you think about Brother Aaron? Well, it was a comment. What did you think about his performance? I'm gonna say the chat. First of all, let me start with the chat. Chat, strong performance. As always, strong performance by everybody in the chat. You guys always doing your thing. We appreciate you. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Oh man, maybe it's doing some maintenance. Oh my gosh. Anyway, What happened? Oh, okay. I think my computer was doing some maintenance. Yeah. What do y'all think about Brother Aaron? Brother Aaron. Well, first of all, let me start with the chat. Chat. You guys in the chat. You guys. Strong performance, as always. Strong performance. Your reputation precedes you. Your reputation precedes you, and that's why we don't have no knuckle. The knuckleheads just stop coming over here because they know they ain't getting no run. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. And y'all let us know when we out there doing something crazy. Y'all let us know, right? Y'all will let us know, right? But y'all did an excellent job. Shout out to the chat. Who else was up here? Aaron Thompson. What y'all think about Aaron Thompson? Aaron Thompson. Shout out to Aaron Thompson, man. Strong performance. Solid young brother. Solid. Solid. Man, dude came over here, man. Didn't know none of us. Well, he knew Patrice a little bit, but he didn't know the rest of us, man, at all. And Patrice said, I'm going to bring this dude over. You know, he used to be an LAPD officer. And I thought he was going to be kind of a rougher dude. I saw a couple of his videos. I said, well, maybe, you know, he's kind of funny. Maybe he's not as rough. I had no clue how humble the dude was. Very humble brother, man. Very humble brother. You know, seemed like a real brother from down, you know, from street brother, man. Reminds me of myself when I used to be, you know, running around Compton and Watts and LA and all that. You know, you have to be that way out here because, you know, you never know who you're talking to. You could be talking to Big Ray Ray's little sister. You know, you don't know. You come at people crazy just because you think you can. You never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're talking to. I've seen people get knocked out just not knowing who they was talking to. Right? Shout out to Brother Aaron, but he did good. Young brother on the rise. He said he's on tour with Lunel. He's on tour with Cat Williams. Things are picking up for him. Them ain't no Rudy Poot names, right? Those are big names in the industry, right? Cat Williams said, man, I own all my stuff. Netflix don't own it. I own it. No, nobody own my stuff. I own all. Cat Williams said he own all his specials. Shout out to Cat Williams. That's the kind of dude he rolling with. How much game you think he's going to soak up being on the road with Cat Williams? Holy smokes. Let's move on, y'all, because I could talk about Aaron Thompson, man. I just like his style, man. Good young brother, man. May God be with him, man, and watch him and watch over his back throughout this whole process, man. He gets where he wants to go. Him and his family. Shout out to them. What about Patrice? What do you think about Patrice? Strong performance, right? We gotta have this brother Aaron come back, man. I never seen Patrice, man. His brother Aaron parked there like a Cadillac, right? Shout out to Patrice. But she asked some good questions of the brother, man. Set him up real good. You know what I mean? Went into the whole how because Patrice's thing is about the grassroots, boots on the ground type stuff like that. She likes people that are, you know, don't come in and like try to be like military to the community, but try to do the community policing, right? You know what? Hey, let's work together to make the community better, right? That approach, she's that type of, and he seems like he's that type of guy. So I'm sure that's where they're connected at that level as well. But Patrice, solid performance, solid as always, solid performance. Asked great questions, you know, and even though she had some technical issues, fought her way back through it and came back on the panel, fought her way back into the game. That's how you do it. You fight your way back into it. She texts me, say, hey, I'm having these little difficulties here, but you know, y'all keep it moving. No problem. We got you, sis. We gonna keep it moving, right? We team Patrice over here. All right, so that was Patrice. Y'all think Patrice did a good job? Let her know. Let her know. You see the Patrice out there? Let her know, right? Who else came up? Oh, Brother Vaughn. Brother Vaughn came up. And by the way, some of y'all, this was double duty for y'all, right? Y'all came in my first stream earlier today, and then you came in now, right? Appreciate y'all. I'd rather have 7 hardcore listeners than 50 people that they looking for me to just get into it with somebody else, right? I'm not gonna get into it with nobody unless they bring it here, right? I'm not gonna. They ain't got to worry about me chasing them down on their platforms and chasing them all over the place. I'm not going to get none of them. they eventually gonna have to come through us. I'm just telling Rico that they're gonna eventually have to come through us to get any notoriety with the community, because we are trying to build that rapport with the community, well, at least the community that wants to see things be better for Black people in particular, but everyone ultimately, right? All right, so but Brother Vaughn, what do you think about Brother Vaughn? Brother Vaughn came through. I didn't know if he was going. I asked him to come up here, but I didn't know if he was going to come up here because Vaughn does a lot, man. Vaughn, yeah, there's a lot y'all don't know about Vaughn. Vaughn's got a lot going on behind the scenes, man. So I don't know, when I asked him to come up, I don't know if he's going to come up. It's like sometimes Rico will tell me up front, hey man, I got this to do, I got that to do, and he told me he had something to do today. He said he was going to try to come in, but he wasn't able to make it. So it is what it is, right? However, we got Brother Vaughn. What y'all think about Brother Vaughn? Brother Vaughn came in. I asked him to come up. He came up. He came in and he asked questions. He hit a home run as usual. He hit a home run, asked some good questions, and wished the young brother well. I mean, you seem like the young brother really received that from him, and shout out to Brother Vaughn, man. Gave that brother a little air of confidence, and he needs that. And I hope he can use that to keep it going, keep the success going for himself. Talking about our brother Aaron, right? I didn't get the chance to call him AA Ron, but I'll get him the next time he comes through. I was gonna call him AA Ron, but I said, nah, we ain't got time for all of that. Patrice took up all our time asking him 2-hour questions. Shout out to Patrice. Anyway, what y'all think about Vaughn? Vaughn came through. He I gotta call him set shot Vaughn too, because Vaughn takes set shots, right? He'll set up and then he'll shoot his shot. But he's learning, man. Don't wait forever. Don't wait for me or Patrice or Rico to stop talking. You gotta just get in there, man. Get in there. And once we most of the time we'll recognize that we're talking too much and we'll back off. Most of the time. Sometimes we won't, but most of the time. But Vaughn is getting to know him, man. He's like, hey man, shoot, I might as well talk to. Might as well talk. They ain't gonna stop. They ain't gonna shut up until they hear my voice. And sometimes we won't. But shout out to Brother Vaughn. Brother Vaughn, another strong performance. Strong performance. I don't know if I said about Patrice, but strong performance from Patrice as well. Strong performance from Brother Aaron. Strong. Everybody did great. The chat, you guys did a strong performance. Everybody solid. Everybody was solid tonight, as always. As always, we never have no ruffles we don't never have no flies in the ointment, because you guys are out there, man, and you guys will get them. I love that, man. You guys will get them, and get them. Let them cry to me. Oh, I got blocked. Oh, okay. We'll unblock you next time. It's okay. I've had a couple of them coming to me crying about being blocked, but that's okay. If you even think they're moving salty, just get them. Let them come to me. I ain't worried about it at all. All right, y'all. So we will be back on. Thursday. I don't know what we're doing yet. I don't know. I think Rico was trying to work on a guest. So, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And we'll be back on Thursday. Yeah. Y'all got any suggestions or whatever? Y'all got my email. Some of y'all will hit me and let me know what's going on. But I appreciate all of y'all, especially the ones of y'all that did double duty today. Risa and all the rest of you guys that did double duty today. Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. We will see y'all again on Thursday. Thank y'all for coming out. Peace.